direction and is copywritten by. This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
Good evening from Flower Mound's Neil Wilson Stadium. Barry Probst and Taylor Wilson with you here tonight, where Flower Mound will be trying to get back in the win column after a close battle last week against Plano East. The Jaguars, falling in that game 27-24, will have their hands full tonight with a McKinney Boyd team that got out of district play last week against Allen and fell on the short end to Allen by a count of 58-28. Well, welcome back to Flower Mound tonight. And Taylor, good to have you along up here again in the booth. And following Jaguar football, and the Jaguars, we'll see if they can get back in that win column tonight. We talked in the late minutes, and I talked to Coach Johnson about this a moment ago, and we'll get to hear his thoughts here shortly. But we talked about how, with the onside kick, that we thought there'd be kind of like this crazy mad scramble for the ball, and the time would run out. But lo and behold, the ball hopped just right, albeit to the return team, not the coverage team. Had that gotten in their hands, we have virtually no wind tonight. It's not nearly as much. It's warm and humid and muggy tonight, a good bit warmer. Last week we had about 20 degrees cooler and a hefty wind out of the north nearing 30 miles an hour. And they had that wind at their back had they gotten the kickoff on the onside kick and one more shot at the potential victory.
Yeah, it could have made for an exciting end to that game. And I mean, it was an exciting end anyway. The Jaguars drove down the field there in the waning minutes to bring it within 3, and then they had that onside kick. If they were able to recover it, I think that with the wind and the arm of Logan Davis, I think we would have had a chance for an exciting final play there. Maybe would have seen something historic like a Doug Flutie type last play, last Hail Mary into the end zone, but unfortunately we were unable to see that. But the Jaguars still put up a great performance last week, and like you said, looking forward to them getting back in the win column tonight.
And I believe everybody relatively healthy. Nolan McDaniel, the right tackle, had to leave the game last week. I think he twisted his ankle a little bit and had to leave. And Carter Severson spelled him from there. But other than that, the Jaguars didn't really have any losses. And I apologize, and I neglected to mention Hayden Hauser, who was elevated from the JV last week, another sophomore that Coach Johnson brought up. He got game action for just a little bit. But and I neglected to mention his name. My apologies to Hayden and all the Jaguar fans there following. Well, a lot of games tonight in 6-6A again. And then, last night, the one from 6-6A was the Allen team we just mentioned, who's number 2 nationally according to Max Prep's poll. And they knocked off the Plano Wildcats 42-3.
Yeah, that was a convincing win there for Allen, and Kyler Murray again with another great game, one of the top recruits in the state of Texas. Planning on heading down there to Texas A&M, and he showed the reason why. The Aggies are recruiting him again last night with a huge game running the ball and throwing the ball.
Yeah, and we'll see guys that if they don't immediately have pledges somewhere to some college, they very soon will be. The Jaguars tonight will see a formidable back in Dedrick Scrivens, who's probably getting some offers if he hasn't got them already. He's a really dynamite back. 3rd in the area with over 400 yards rushing on the 600 yards rushing on the season and 5 touchdowns. And he's got 3 catches for 18 yards. He had a terrific week last week, even in the loss against Allen. And, they faced Courtney Miles in week 1. He had 300 yards against them. And make no mistake, this Jaguar defense is good, even though, and it seems like, well, you gave up 300 yards to a guy, you can't have a good defense. But no, they gave up 300, and they still have a good defense, and they still played good defense in that game. They had a pick six in that first game. They played great defense against Keller, and they played really good defense again last week in that game against Plano East. Trey Hunter came out of nowhere, literally, just up from the JV squad to replace Jaquan Douglas, who was hurt. And we said that Jaquan Douglas might not see the starting lineup again for some time based on Trey Hunter's performance and skill set. But, that is good practice and good preparation, really, for Flower Mound as they take on Scrivens and the McKinney Boyd Broncos tonight.
Yeah, the Jaguars have faced off against quite a number of top-level running backs throughout the year this year. And like you said, just because they gave up 300 yards rushing to Courtney Miles certainly does not mean this is not a stout defense. In my mind, Flower Mound giving up 300 yards to Courtney Miles is like an NFL defense giving up 300 yards passing to Peyton Manning. I mean, he's going to get his yardage no matter what. Right. He's a talented guy. And so Courtney Miles, they bottled him up a lot of times, but he just was able to spring free a lot. And then last week, Trey Hunter, the freshman, when he had the speed and he got around the edge, he gained some yards. But there were quite a few plays where Flower Mound, the defense gang tackled him and took him down for a loss, and there was a few really big plays by that Jaguar defense. And so I think they'll have a tough matchup tonight against Dedrick Scrivens, but I certainly think that Coach Johnson is going to have them ready for it.
The Whirly Ball pregame show is brought to you in part by Strategic Direct Solutions, proud to be a senior-level sponsor of the Flower Mound Jaguars. MBS Today, remember there's no energy drink to boost your marketing growth. Contact Jeff, Dean, Richard, or Joan at mbstoday.com or go to jaguarfootball.com and click on the MBS link. And by Lens Cap Photo Marketing, a professional corporate business and event photography company. They provide a visual history of your event through high-quality images. Remember, when planning that special event, hire the photographer you need to get the pictures you want. For more information, please check their ad in the Jaguar football program tonight or visit them online at lenscapmarketing.com. We will take a break and come back with more of the Whirly Ball pregame show. You're listening to Flower Mound Jaguar football on Champion Sports Radio.
On game day, leave the grilling to the amateurs and score the matchup of the century. Raising Cane's tailgates with jugs of lemonade and sweet tea. Cane's tailgates get your appetite in the game with hot, fresh, never-ever-frozen chicken fingers and totally dippable cane sauce. They're fresh as a rookie, seasoned like a pro, and an automatic first down at any tailgate party. So when it's time for the big game, pick up some tailgates and jugs of lemonade and sweet tea. Now that's what I call a huddle. Raising Cane's, one love.
Rapid Med Urgent Care Center in Highland Village provides Southern Denton County families with state-of-the-art emergency medical care right in your neighborhood. From checkups to broken bones, school vaccinations, sports physicals, and more, you can count on Rapid Med for all of your medical needs. Rapid Med is proud to provide the latest in concussion management through the IMPACT program in partnership with the Texas Health Sports Network. Rapid Med Urgent Care Center is dedicated to providing you with quality care quickly. Visit rapidmed.com.
What are you doing, Hazel?
Looking for a power drink for some energy boost for my marketing. I'm dragging.
You know, I saw your marketing tools, your website, brochures. Remember, there's no energy drink or blue pill for business growth. You need a good marketing boost. Call Jeff at mbstoday.com. They will get you straightened out.
Go online at mbstoday.com or call toll-free 1-855-224-2537, extension 103.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, impact and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShockboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Welcome back to Flower Mound's Neil Wilson Stadium, where the Jaguars getting set to take on the McKinney Boyd Broncos. As we continue on here in the Whirly Ball pregame show, we got to catch up with a couple of coaches just a bit ago, Coach Dane Johnson of Flower Mound and Coach Don Drake of McKinney Boyd. We'll let you hear from each of those here momentarily. As some of the games tonight include the Colony at Frisco and also, well, the Colony at Frisco is one of those. We'll get more of those here in just a moment. But here is what Coach Drake had to say in his upcoming battle with Flower Mound.
Well, Coach Drake, first of all, you have faced probably a couple of the toughest teams on your schedule, and arguably in Capel and Allen last week. You split with those, though. You came out victorious over Capel, and, well, no one really knocks down Allen, at least they haven't in a few years. But a pretty good effort there in that game, I would say. Are you pleased with the performance last week with your team against Allen?
Well, I mean, we lost, so I don't know if I'm ever pleased, right? I mean, I thought we did some good things, particularly offensively. We made some mistakes, in the second quarter that I wish we'd have capitalized on some great field position and put some more points on the board early and kept that game closer at halftime. But I thought our kids played hard. I thought they competed. I see us getting better every week, and that's what's critical this time of year. Obviously, got to carry it forward into tonight. We got to go play well tonight.
How is facing Capel and Allen, other than the competition level, compare you for a team like Flower Mound that might run a different way tonight?
Well, I mean, one of our goals in non-district play, and then obviously the way the district fell, I mean, we got three pretty quality opponents back-to-back-to-back this season. So, it's our goal to always put our kids in those positions and try to prepare them for the district race, and because we know we're going to see a high level of competition. So it's our goal to see that speed of the game and get our kids prepared for that speed of the game. So, I feel like we've done what we can to put ourselves in good position tonight to be ready to go. Obviously, it's up to the kids now to go perform.
You got a really good quarterback in Grant Restmeyer and a really good dynamite back in Dedrick Scriven. So talk about how your team, and it's a team game, how the rest of the team has helped lead to each of their success.
Yeah, we've been kind of a different identity, the last couple of weeks. We rushed for about 400 yards or a little more against Coppell a couple of weeks ago. Last week we threw for a little over 280, so, it's kind of two different personalities, but that's kind of what the game dictated. We're excited about the group of kids we've got. They're playing pretty well. Again, it's like I tell them, though, you got to go play every week. You got to show up every week, and you got to go compete. So we'll see tonight how it turns out.
Any new guys emerged from the JV yet? Has anybody been called up yet?
No, not yet. Not yet. We've got our group that we started with, and we continue to, again, hopefully improve and get better.
Coach Drake, thanks for the time, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That is Coach Don Drake of the McKinney Boyd Broncos.
Well, that is Coach Drake, and we also got to catch up with Coach Dane Johnson. And as you know, the Flower Mound Jaguars came off a really close loss last week, and game after game has been close. 3 weeks into the season, all of them have been decided by single digits. Game 1 was a 42-35 defeat to Trophy Club's Byron Nelson. And then week 2, another exciting battle, saw the Jaguars come back in the last seconds, literally, with a Richard Kelly field goal to beat the Keller Indians at the gun. And then last week, the onside kick goes into the hands of the enemy, Plano East, and the opponent in that one. And Flower Mound falls short 27-24. Here's a little bit of what Coach Dane Johnson had to say about last week's performance and tonight's upcoming game.
Well, I am down here with Coach Dane Johnson of Flower Mound. And, Coach, another tough, close one last week. You guys came up just short. You rallied with a great drive late and just didn't get the onside kick a few seconds late. We talked about it being a 60-minute game. The week before, you came out with a field goal, and this time you just didn't come up with the onside kick.
Yeah, we just made too many mistakes. We had a fumble on the 10 on their 10-yard line. We threw a pick six. We dropped a punt. We had them stopped. We dropped the punt right there. We had a touchdown taken off the board. You just can't do that and expect to win games in this district, So I was proud of the kids and their efforts, though. I mean, they fought. We had a chance still at the end. But, I think that's one we let slip through our fingers.
Yeah. While you were disappointed and they were disappointed, what's their mindset this week? Were they also pretty proud of their effort and said this is one we could have had, should have had?
You look at the way our defense is playing, how physical they are. They were excited. They held them to 0 passing yards.
Yeah.
We did some good things offensively because they're a very athletic team. So, our confidence keeps growing. Once we can really just cut out about 3 drives each half, we're going to be all right, And most of it's self-forced errors, And so, but we have a young team and an experienced team, so that kind of comes with it, which is a shame that we have already played district games. We should have been nice if that was just another non-district we have this week, and then now we're going. But that's not the way it is, so we have to grow up quickly to make things happen.
2 tune-ups and then thrown to the fire right away.
Yeah, right away.
But now, week 1, you faced the top rusher in Area 6A in Courtney Miles. And the next week, and I asked you about running backs, you said we're going to see a lot of good ones. And sure enough, tonight you got to face Dedrick Scriven.
Yeah, this is probably the best offensive line that we face. So you got one of the best running backs and then probably the best offensive line. It'll be a good challenge. It'll be it's just how this district is. Every week you just turn around. I think there's 3 more really good running backs we got to face in this district too before it's over. So, we're just going to do what we can.
With the proliferation of spread offenses over the last decade or so, does it surprise you a little bit that you see so many backs that are so productive? No,
it just all goes back. All right, so you went to the spread, what everybody do? They took out a defensive lineman and put another linebacker. So then defense caught up to it. So now everybody's like, wait a minute, they got more guys than we do. Well, what if we put a lineman back in there and everybody starts running the ball again? It's just, the game cycles.
We're seeing that catch up to it again with the backs,
And so now, now you're going to see a lot more 4-man fronts for everybody because everybody's got an extra lineman down there, and they're not. So it's just kind of how the game always goes.
So is your defense key to kind of stop these guys with more and more of these backs you see like that?
Well, you got to stop the run to win a championship. You've got to play great defense. And so, that's our number one thing. Stop the run. If you can control the line of scrimmage, you have a really good chance to win. So, yeah, we're going to do everything we can to stop this kid. Or just slow him down, probably, because he's good.
Well, Coach, great effort last week.
Appreciate
great
it.
job, and
Thanks.
good luck again tonight. Thanks for the time.
Probably another tight one.
Indeed. That is Coach Dane Johnson of Flower Mound.
And we appreciate Coach Dane Johnson's thoughts there. Some really interesting insight there on his part, Taylor, that about the evolution, if you will, of these offenses. The way they've come, and this happens at the high school level. You see it happening at the college level, and to some degree, you see it happening at the pro level. The pro level, if anything, might be a little bit of behind. It may have adopted the spread kind of after high school and after college, and then they're kind of in that in-between level here as the captains coming out to the field for Flower Mound. Logan Davis and Evan Curl out there to help decide the coin toss here. And also Clayton Johnson, the senior. So we'll tell you what head referee Tim Hayashi determines who wins this pick here, and the captains for McKinney Boyd as well, including Dedrick Scrivens. But should be a good one tonight between these teams. Flower Mound in their navy blue shirts, white pants, navy helmets. McKinney Boyd in a navy blue helmet with a red stripe. And looks like McKinney Boyd won and will defer. We'll see what they start off with, or what Flower Mound will start off with first. Actually, McKinney Boyd is going to elect to receive the toss. So Flower Mound will kick off to start the game. So should be a good one on tap here tonight, folks. We will take a break and come back in a moment with more of the Whirly Ball pregame show on Champion Sports Radio.
Fans, with a Raising Cane's tailgate on the table, this meal is going into overtime. The first overall pick for any game comes piled high with hot, fresh, never-ever frozen chicken fingers and totally dippable cane sauce. So let's hear the stats. That's 100 chicken fingers, 100% premium, and 100% delicious. And with cold, refreshing jugs of lemonade and sweet tea also coming straight out of Raising Cane's, well, let's just say that's a full roster of flavor. Raising Cane's, one love.
Rapid Med Urgent Care Center in Highland Village provides southern Denton County families with state-of-the-art emergency medical care right in your neighborhood. From checkups to broken bones, school vaccinations, sports physicals, and more, you can count on Rapid Med for all of your medical needs. Rapid Med is proud to provide the latest in concussion management through the IMPACT program in partnership with the Texas Health Sports Network. Rapid Med Urgent Care Center is dedicated to providing you with quality care quickly. Visit rapidmed.com.
Hey, honey, why are you home so late?
Don't even get me started.
Did Sally come in late again today?
Sally comes in late every day. Pete can't stay off the internet, and Roger does everything but his job. It gets so frustrating. My employees can't be accountable for their own actions.
You need to contact Strategic Direct Solutions, LLC. My company has been using SDS for years, and they have totally upgraded several positions for us.
That sounds like a great idea and a great solution.
Make sure your company has the best employees.
That's right, in the best positions, so your organization can achieve success. Strategic Direct Solutions is a staffing solutions firm which has been supporting small to Fortune 500 companies across North America, providing great talent.
Visit us on the web at www.sdsllc.com or call us at 972-355-7500 extension 305.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management. The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute online at gdyo.org/jazz.
Welcome back to Neil Wilson Stadium in Flower Mound. Barry Probst and Taylor Wilson here with you during the Whirly Ball pregame show, brought to you in part by Lenscap Photo Marketing, MBS Today, and Strategic Direct Solutions. Strategic Direct Solutions, proud to be a senior level sponsor. They're a staffing partner that provides great talent to companies all across North America. Visit them on the web at sdsllc.com to learn more. Assure you have the best players and the best positions on your team. Contact SDS today. Speaking of the best players and the best teams, Flower Mound getting ready to kick it away. We'll get the defenses set for you here in just a moment as long kicker Justin Grant has it teed up, set to go out there and boot it away, and try to get you the rest of the kickoff coverage team out there as best we can, including Chris Irvin and Aaron Epping out there across the front as Justin Grant has it teed up and set to kick off. And back to receive deep for McKinney Boyd, and it's going that way to the 18, and a fair catch is made right there at that spot by Jeremiah Campbell, the 160-pound junior, a return man and safety, and that is where McKinney Boyd will start tonight with no score in the game, wearing all white and navy helmets. We were saying a minute ago with a red stripe, red numerals. Flower Mound with navy shirts. Love navy. It's my favorite color, by the way. Navy shirts, white numerals, navy helmets, white socks, white pants. Looking good out there. The starting quarterback, Grant Ressmeyer, for McKinney Boyd, and his starting tailback, Dedrick Scrivens. And they're in the shotgun running an I formation. We'll get the D set for you here in a moment as Ressmeyer goes long on first down, and he overthrows his intended target, Jeremiah Campbell, the wide receiver out there on a go pattern. For Flower Mound across the front, Darrell Rutherford, who's had a really good game the last couple of weeks up there, the starting nose tackle. And with him, Duke Carroll. Matthew Johnston actually is in there tonight. We'll get the rest of them for you here in a moment across the front. Brandon Baskew, a sophomore linebacker or defensive end, up as they give to Scrivens, the back who squirts through, and he muscles his way for a few yards before he is brought down by both Austin McKee and Tyson Spencer, the senior linebacker who was the player of the week a couple of weeks ago in their big win over the Keller Indians a couple of weeks ago, 19-17. Shotgun formation. First down as they give to Scrivens, big hole across right tackle across the 25-30, up the way to the 35, and all the way to the 40-yard line goes Scrivens for a gain of about 16 yards. That moves the sticks 15 yards. They're going to spot it at the 39.
And Flower Mound had him in a third down situation there, but McKinney Boyd did a great job at opening a hole there on the right side for Scrivens.
Hayden Brewer in across that front. And Scrivens nowhere to run this time. And speaking of Hayden Brewer, he and a couple of other guys across the front are in on that tackle. Flower Mound going with a four-man front to start tonight. Matthew Johnson, Darrell Rutherford, Hayden Brewer, and Brandon Baskew across the front. Brandon Baskew often a linebacker, but he's playing a down lineman tonight on the left side of the defensive end. Devin Coleman, one of the corners. We'll get the rest of the back set up for you in a moment. Tyson Spencer and Austin McKee linebackers as they give to Scrivens again. And there is again very little running room. He's brought down immediately over there by Robert Darnell, the Mike linebacker. And we mentioned Darnell's name a couple of weeks ago a lot, Taylor. He had a great game.
Yeah, these Jaguar linebackers are great tacklers. They really square up, and they can bring people down in a lot of one-on-one situations. And that's tough, especially with running backs like Scrivens that are really shifty. And these linebackers, week after week, keep showing how great of tacklers they are.
3rd and 7. They wing it out wide, but caught and hit immediately and pushed back on the far side of the field is the receiver for McKinney Boyd, Brandon Bowling, the 5'9", 155-pound junior wideout. But the Jaguars converge all over him, including Blake Winters, the safety back there. So a great defensive stand, even though they allowed a first down on the possession. A great stand by the Jaguar D.
Yeah, that's a great start for the Jaguars, forcing a punt here early on after a quick possession by McKinney Boyd.
Clayton Johnson and Chandler Clatterbaugh back to receive this punt. Token rush put on. Not bad. A good spiraling punt. It's going to go over the head of Clatterbaugh and take a little bit of a Jaguar bounce back from the inside the 15 to just outside the 15 at the 18. So a fairly good punt that time of about 37 yards, 38 yards with no return, and Flower Mound will start off at their own 17-yard line, 1st and 10. Logan Davis, the signal caller. Ren Oob across the front as the right guard. Balin Smith, the center. Dane Marwood, the left guard. Evan Curl, the left tackle. We'll get the rest of them for you set in a moment as Davis wings it out wide to his wideout on the left. Caught and not much running room there for Clayton Johnson, the senior wideout. Aaron Epping in there as well as Dylan Gorlick split out to the far right. And across the rest of the front, we mentioned Dane Marwood and also into tonight's contest. Big 75. Let's see his name on there. We'll have to get his name added here in a moment. As Logan Davis is in the shotgun. Long snap count. Looks right, now fakes, tucks it under. Coming near side to the 15, and he is tripped up in the backfield, and making a great tackle there for the McKinney Boyd Broncos was Ross Maduzik, the linebacker.
And Logan Davis, he's really got to get going early. He has repeatedly been the key to this Jaguar offense, and it seems like as Logan Davis goes, so go the Jaguars. And typically that ends up going fairly well because Logan Davis is such a dynamic quarterback with his ability to run and throw the football. We'll see what they can do here on 3rd and just over 10, about 3rd and 11.
3rd and 11 in the shotgun. Ryan Daly is the hound back, going in motion from right to left. Movement in the line. Davis takes the snap. Sprints out left. Looks to throw downfield. Got a man. Clayton Johnson. Incomplete. In between the defenders was the defenders Brandon Bowling and Parker Noren, the other cornerback. But that pass goes incomplete. I tell you, it was actually a perfect pass.
Yeah.
It was right in between those defenders on the sideline. Not sure if Johnson could have caught it. If he had caught it, if he would have come down in bounds, it would have been close.
Yeah, that was a great pass. As soon as I saw it go in the air, I was wondering what was going on with him throwing into double coverage.
But a bailout as head referee Tim Hayashi signals personal foul on the McKinney Boyd Broncos after that play. The rest of the officiating crew, the umpire is Corey Booker, the head linesman Greg Robinson, the line judge Scott Fleming, and the back judge Ross Smith, as they will walk off 15 against the Broncos. And the Jaguars get new life, at least on this possession here.
Yeah, that's huge for Flower Mound. They weren't able to move the ball there on their first 3 plays, actually moved backwards by about a yard. This will give them a little bit of new life and maybe give them a chance to wear some more time off this clock and get their offense really rolling and get into a little bit of a better rhythm.
Wholesale changes in at receiver as Thomas Jeffries, Brendan Alves, Nick Ryan, and Quentin Morris are all in there as Logan Davis takes the snap, tucks it under, rushes across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. Probably gets back to about the line of scrimmage on that effort. Maybe got a yard. They will call it 2nd and 9. Clock under 8 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. No score in our game. McKinney Boyd has had a possession, and they moved for 1 first down, and then Flower Mound made a terrific 3-and-out on the next series of downs. And now Flower Mound with the ball trying to get on the move here at their own 32. Davis in the shotgun. 4 receivers set, 3 of those to the right. Heavy rush. He does elude it. He's running out right, has room. Going to scamper toward the sidelines and be tackled pretty good ways out of bounds across the 34-yard line up there. Making the pursuit there, and the tackle for McKinney Boyd on that play, I believe, was Kyle Seamus, the big 6', 250-pound senior tackle.
And that was a good job by Logan Davis. There was pressure that came off that edge immediately, and Logan Davis was able to stretch and get away from it and able to actually turn it into about a 2-yard gain. So despite the fact it was a small gain and they're still in 3rd and 8, that was a good job by Logan Davis of turning that possible negative play into a small positive.
Across the front for this McKinney Boyd 3-4 defense, as a timeout is called, is Noah Prater and Kyle Seamus, the ends, the tackle Joshua Stewart, Braden McFadden, and Braden Webb. Braden spelled differently there, but they are the linebackers. Ron DeBoo is the inside linebacker, the 5'10", 180-pound junior, and Ross Matuzik is the right side outside linebacker in this 3-4 scheme. Parker Noren, Armani Jenkins, the cornerbacks, and Boone Tate and Keaton Livingston, your starting safeties for McKinney Boyd across the front. We said Evan Curl, Dane Marwood, Balin Smith, Ren Oob. And I don't know that I saw Nolan McDaniel in there tonight, so he could be out tonight. Carter Severson is in his spot tonight. But everything else is normal for Flower Mound as the Jaguars come to the line facing 3rd and 8. Logan Davis in the shotgun. Looking left now, scans the field, under pressure, going to throw it away as he was being harassed over there in the pocket and chased out of the pocket by one of their linebackers, Braden McFadden, the 6'1", 180-pound senior. So that pass goes awry, and Flower Mound will have to punt it away. Sorry, Taylor.
No, you're good. That was tough. I was just going to say that the pressure came from the exact same place again. Again, it was a rollout right. Again, pressure came off that left side for the McKinney-Boyd defense, and Logan Davis had to try to avoid it, and he avoided the pressure again. This time couldn't turn it into a positive and had to throw it away.
And a little bit of a rush, but Josh Grant gets this ball away, and I apologize. I had a roster that said Justin Grant instead of Josh Grant, and it's Josh Grant who punts this away to the right side, and no return. It goes across the 50 and out of bounds, the 40 in Boyd territory, all the way to the 35. Good punt that time by Josh Grant. No return. And so that is where Boyd will start off with their second possession of the night. No score in the game, 6:57 to play. It is Restmeyer in the shotgun, and he gives it on the end around. Coming around and getting walloped at about the 37 for little gain, if any, is Brandon Bowling. The little 5'9", 155-pound jitterbug there. Not much running room available. Great staying at home defense and assignment D by the Jaguars that play.
Yeah, that was strong defense. That was Clatterbaugh that came up there from the safety position to make that strong tackle on the end around.
And this time they wing it out to Bowling at the 35, caught, makes a move and makes a player miss at the 38, goes to the 40, 45, 49-yard line, and that's good for a pickup of about 12 and a first down for the Broncos. The other wide out there with Bowling is Steven Driscoll. Dedrick Scrivens, the back in the backfield, who takes this carry on 1st and 10, working his way to the outside across the 50 to the 45, down the sideline, inside the 40 to the 38-yard line before Austin McKee, Chandler Clatterbaugh, and Tyson Spencer are all there to meet him and knock him down, but not before Scrivens can reel off about a 14-yard gain.
And Scrivens there, not afraid to lower his shoulder, could have run out of bounds and tried to run through some more Flower Mound defenders. He's a tough runner.
Quick toss to Brandon Bowling, caught at the 40, down the sideline, 35-30. Missing tacklers to the 20, 10-5 touchdown goes Brandon Bowling. A 43-yard catch and run down the sidelines, and he is very quick. They had kept him bottled up on some of the end-around runs and some of the other quick hitch passes, but that time he got around to the edge way outside and to the sideline and just used his magnificent speed to race down the sideline for a score.
Yeah, he's not a big guy, weighing in at just 155, but my goodness, he showed some real speed there in that 43-yard touchdown catch and run. That was impressive.
Andrew Smith to try to kick the extra point, and it hits the upright. It looked like the hold by Ryan Sandman was fine, but and it looked like the kick was going through, but it just clinged to the left upright and goes awry. So it is a 6-0 Boyd Bronco lead over Flower Mound. We'll take a break and come back in a moment with more Jaguar football on Champion Sports Radio.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2, 2009, Zachary Schroff, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the #1 cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living, the number 4, Zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
Flower Mound receives the kickoff. Clayton Johnson gives the handoff Up the side to Chandler Clatterbaugh, and that is a gain of about 15 yards on the return, up to 10, 15, 20, and all the way out to the 25-yard line goes Clatterbaugh there after the neat little reverse.
Yeah, that was something we haven't seen yet this season, a little toss back there. Ended up with a pretty decent return, and now the Flower Mound offense comes on after that quick drive by McKinney Boyd, which ended in that 37-yard touchdown after only 4 plays for McKinney Boyd before they got in the end zone.
Logan Davis in the shotgun as Flower Mound going from our right to left here to start this second series, this offensive possession. Their second, McKinney Boyd scored on their second. We told you the starters across the front there for McKinney Boyd in this 3-4. Noah Prater, the left end. Kyle Seamus, the right end. Big 6 foot, 250-pound senior defensive tackle. And Joshua Stewart, the nose tackle. Braden Webb, Ron DeBoo, the inside linebackers. And Braden McFadden and Ross McTuzik, the outside linebackers. As Davis creeping to the line. He might be going under center this time. Well, no, he's going to back it up and revert to the shotgun. 2nd and 13. Hound, Ryan Daly goes in motion. And Davis going to tuck it under, but he's pressured from Braden McFadden, who races in there and gets quick penetration inside the line for a sack in all essence here. Basically a tackle for loss against Logan Davis, and it will bring up 3rd and 16. So McKinney Boyd showing some speed on defense, Taylor, to get through the gaps pretty quick.
Yeah, Braden McFadden flew off that right side pretty much untouched and was able to catch Logan Davis from behind. We'll see what kind of play the Jaguars dial up here on 3rd and 16. This is a tough situation to be in.
Davis in the shotgun, 3rd and 16, looking to fling it downfield long, incomplete, intended for his wideout going over there, Colton Wilson, the senior, but a little bit high and hot maybe for Wilson to handle. That one was really rifled out of there pretty quickly by Davis. So it will bring up 4th and 16 after the incomplete pass. Flower Mound will have to punt it, and back to punt, standing at his own 5-yard line is Josh Grant.
And that Flower Mound defense really going to have to step up when they come back out. Didn't have too long of a break there with a quick 3-and-out by the Jaguars.
Head high snap and a little bit of a rush, but Grant gets away. A nice kick. Oh, it takes a Boyd bounce at the 38 backwards to about the 33-yard line. So he lost about 5 on that little knuckler, and it's a net punt of about 18 yards there after the bounce. He had to get it away pretty quickly, so Boyd will take over with pretty good field position here at the Jaguar 33-yard line, leading 7-0 in our contest.
Yeah, McKinney Boyd coming out with this great field position. We'll have to see if they utilize Brandon Bowling again here on this drive. He's not a very big guy, again, only 5'9", 155, but we saw that impressive speed last time. We'll also see if they utilize Derek Scrivens a little bit more. He has just a handful of carries tonight.
And he carries this one, going around left end, looking for room, but there's not much there at all. Great pursuit by the Jaguar defense as Chandler Clatterbaugh comes up from his safety spot to help in on the tackle, along with Tyson Spencer and Robert Darnell. Matthew Johnson hustling out, and coming in on this play will be Colton Pennington, the junior defensive back, as an extra piece to the nickel package in this play. 3 down linemen and a linebacker cheating up as Restmeyer looks right, throws, caught by Brandon Bowling at the 28, makes a player miss at the 25, going to the 20. Great moves there by Brandon Bowling. He is shifty and dangerous, and he takes the ball up inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line. Good for a first down, a gain of about 13 yards in that pass play.
And that's a good individual play by Bowling. He only caught it about 2 yards in front of the line of scrimmage, and he turned it himself into a first down.
Scrivens gets the handoff, makes a cut back inside across the 20, 15, 10, 5, up the hash to the end zone goes Dedrick Scrivens. He is very fast and very dangerous. So a couple of skills players on this McKinney Boyd team that have a lot of speed, and Scrivens that time was dragging it far out to the left and then made the cut back in between the tackle and guard right at about the hash and really turned on the burner.
Yeah, a lot of speed on this Boyd team, and again, a very short possession that leads to a touchdown. This Jaguar defense has got to be worn out. That drive was only 3 plays that time.
And knocking this extra point through this time is Andrew Smith. He had missed the other one, and I had said 7-0. It was 6-0. It's now 13-0, our new score here with 3:20 to play in the opening quarter. We'll take a break and come back in a moment with more Jaguar football on Champion Sports Radio.
Direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
Back at Neil Wilson Stadium in Flower Mound, our new score is the McKinney Boyd Broncos 13 and the Flower Mound Jaguars 0 right now with 3:20 to play.
And that was a quick strike there by McKinney Boyd on their last possession. Both their scores now have come on very short drives. The first came on a 4-play possession, and Brandon Bowling took it in from 37 yards out on just a short pass that he turned into a long gain. And then that drive, Dedrick Stevens takes the handoff and raced 19 yards into the end zone, and it only took 3 plays for the Broncos to get on the board there. So here's the Jaguars are getting ready to receive the football on the kickoff. Got to hope that the offense can give the defense at least a little bit of a rest before they have to trot back out on the field.
I didn't notice a flag on the play as they are onside kicking this, and it goes out of bounds. It was hot off the tips of one of the up men, but they were kicking from the 45. It did look like maybe somebody had kind of rolled into the kicker, but I didn't see a flag, and I didn't see Tim Hayashi's signal that there had been a personal foul roughing the kicker, but evidently that was indeed the case because they had that ball, or it was a personal foul of some flavor on Flower Mound because Boyd was kicking that ball off from the 45-yard line and tried the onside kick. So with that, Flower Mound will take over with good field position here at least, trailing 13-0, and Hayden Hauser, the sophomore elevated from the JV ranks last week, is in the game. He got in for one quick play last week. He fakes the handoff, tucks it under, and darts into the middle of the line there for a couple of yards. So Hauser may be a little bit quicker and shiftier than Logan Davis, perhaps. And he's seeing action right now as both Dylan Gorlick and Brendan Alves are in there as wideouts to the right side and to the left. Jordan Moore is in the game now for Flower Mound.
Yeah, and Hauser came in just for one series last week, so we'll see if he ends up sticking around for an entire series or multiple series before they put Davis back in the game.
And Hauser fakes the handoff, keeps again, runs hard between the tackles there across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Good running that time by Hayden Hauser. He's muscled his way forward. He's not a very big guy. Just a sophomore and still growing, but he's swarmed his way and muscled his way through for about 3 or 4 yards these last 2 carries. It'll be third and about 6.5 coming for the Jaguars here.
Yeah, and we see Hauser here. We haven't seen him a lot this year, but you can tell he definitely has some explosiveness. He's able to hit those holes fast, and like you said, he's still growing, not a huge guy right now, but that explosiveness will serve him well in this game.
Brisk Boban, the running back, fakes the handoff, play action from Hauser. He goes deep over the right side, intended for Brendan Alves, but he shoots it just over his head a little bit. So Hayden Hauser probably a little bit stoked to be in there and throwing his first pass attempt, you know, and he just had a lot of extra adrenaline going as Josh Grant will come on to punt the ball away, standing inside his 19-yard line.
And the one tough part here is that Flower Mound defense getting ready to come back out on the field after another quick possession by the offense. Got to hope that they're well rested so they can prevent some of these Bronco big plays.
And Grant gets away a really good kick that takes a sideways bounce this time at the 38 and goes directly out of bounds So that will be a net punt of 29 yards, but no return. Good punt that time by Josh Grant as Flower Mound hanging tough here. They are trailing 13-0. Colton Pennington coming into the game. Duke Carrillo taking a breather here as we get set to start this series. Brandon Baskew in there as a defensive end on the left side. Looking like Flower Mound might be going back to a three-man front. Pennington, the defensive back, cheating up near the line here. So 7 in the box, and they give to Bowling on the end around, and he is brought down by one hand by Brandon Baskew. And we saw him make a couple of tackles last week against Trey Hunter. He has got some arm strength, that sophomore, to be able to grab these fast backs down by one hand like that.
Yeah, Baskew, he's really made some big plays these last few weeks. He's a sure tackler, and like you said, he keeps making these tackles with one hand. It's very, very impressive.
And this time into the line goes Scrivens. He breaks a tackle or two, goes across the 45, 50, down the numbers alley to the 40, 30. Now cutting back and reversing across the field to the left side to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. But we've got flags flying, several flags flying, as kind of a illegal block in the back may have taken place, and we've got an official throws his hat. We had Tempers Flair out there at around the 15-yard line, and several flags came out at that spot.
Yeah, and that was a very impressive run by Scrivens, and it looks like some sort of illegal block well behind the play is going to end up costing him a touchdown, because that was a magnificent run, but we saw some Boyd offensive players running downfield. Maybe we have an illegal block in the back, but it had to be behind the play.
And unsportsmanlike conduct signaled against, well, both teams. And I'm not sure if we're getting a live ball foul called here or not. I haven't seen evidence. Somebody got disqualified.
Oh, wow.
Now, I didn't catch the number from head referee Tim Hayashi, but I tell you what, it did look like that might be imminent, the way a little mini scuffle broke out there at around the 15 or 10 at the conclusion of the play. And there are 3 flags littered on the field. And I'm not sure who was disqualified, but I think the touchdown, is that going to stand? We got to get clarification on that now.
Yeah, they still have not signaled touchdown, and they haven't put it up on the scoreboard, so we're still waiting to see. It looks like they're marching back. It looks like the touchdown may not count.
And not only that, may it not count, there may be successive penalties on the play itself that make this go way back. I mean, 2 or 3 penalties during the play. And that wipes out a big Dedrick Scrivens touchdown run and is a huge break for the Flower Mound Jaguars.
And the thing that has to be emphasized is these penalties occurred behind the play. Scrivens was well ahead of everybody, his pursuers, his fellow offensive players, and it looked like a scrum, I guess, broke out during the play, giving it an in-play foul, taking away his touchdown. And, I mean, when it comes down to it, that's a huge, huge break for the Jaguars. And now they have McKinney Boyd pushed all the way back to 2nd and 9 on their own 39-yard line.
Dedrick Scrivens this time lines up in the slot on the left as Restmeyer hands to Bowling, who was the deep back, and Bowling takes it across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Did he fumble? He may have fumbled. The Jaguars say they have the ball. No signal yet from an official. I think the line judge, Scott Fleming, may be ruling that he was down.
Yeah,
a lot of excitement in the pile, and a lot of Jaguars were adamant that they had it.
That would have been a huge momentum swing right there for Flower Mound after getting that huge penalty, pushing them back. If they could have snagged a turnover right there, that would have been great here at the end of the first quarter.
Ian Lawrence comes out, and Duke Carrillo comes back in to help anchor that front part of the line. Shotgun formation, Restmeyer throws across, caught by Brandon Bowling. He has wrapped up those. He gets to the far side of the field at around the 48-yard line. in Jaguar territory. Over there to help out on the tackle with Austin McKee was Devin Coleman, the backup junior cornerback. So good pursuit that time by the Jaguar defense to converge on Bowling quickly. And it's going to be 1st and 10, actually, as they give it to Scrivens, trying to break away from tackles, but Blake Winters and Tyson Spencer wrestle him down as he crosses the 40 to about the 39-yard line. So he had gotten the first down. They had marked it 1st and 10 from way back wherever that penalty occurred. They had made it 1st and 10 or 1st and 15. That is the end of the quarter. We will take a break and come back in a moment. You're listening to Flower Mound Jaguar football on Champion Sports Radio.
On game day, leave the grilling to the amateurs and score the matchup of the century. Raising Cane's tailgates with jugs of lemonade and sweet tea. Cane's tailgates get your appetite in the game with hot, fresh, never-ever-frozen chicken fingers and totally dippable cane sauce. They're fresh as a rookie, seasoned like a pro, and an automatic first down at any tailgate party. So when it's time for the big game, pick up some tailgates and jugs of lemonade and sweet tea. Now that's what I call a huddle. Raising Cane's, one love.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
Welcome back to Neil Wilson Stadium in Flower Mound, where we are set to start the second quarter of play, and no shortage of excitement so far between McKinney Boyd and Flower Mound, where McKinney Boyd leads 13-0 here in the early stages of the game in the second quarter. Dedrick Scrivens' touchdown run was wiped out moments ago, and a Boyd Bronco player disqualified, but we didn't get who that was. Boyd on the move. They give to Bowling, the deep back this time across the 35 to the 34-yard line. Goes to Brandon Bowling, the 5'9", 155-pound junior, who last week had 4 catches for 35 yards. Coming into tonight's game on the season, he had 11 catches for 87 yards. So he's a dynamic player and an integral part of this offense, no doubt, for McKinney Boyd. Restmeyer in the shotgun, looking left, staring him down, throwing deep across the sideline and intended for Steven Driscoll. Defended over there on the near sideline by both Devin Coleman and Chandler Clatterbaugh. Pass goes incomplete. It will bring up 2nd and 10.
And there was no mystery on that play where Restmeyer wanted to go with the football. It looked like they were trying to fake the screen to Brandon Bowling, but Restmeyer was staring down Steven Driscoll that entire play, and Clatterbaugh and the corner both made great plays on the ball to force that incompletion.
7 in the box this time as they give to, I think it was Bowling taking that handoff straight up the middle. No, that was Scrivens. Check it. Across the 30 to the 25. Then they're going to mark him down inside the 25 at the 24. 1st and 10. He gets enough for the first down that time. I-back set. They give to Scrivens again. Has running room. He runs into a tackler there, though, as he gets across the 20 to the 17-yard line. And bringing him down right away over there was Austin McKee. But not before a gain of about 5 for Dedrick Scrivens.
And Scrivens, every time he's getting the ball, he's picking up yards in chunks. These Flower Mound defenders are still making some solid tackles on him, though, downfield.
Quick
That's
toss
a great tackle
near side
right
to Brandon Bowling, but he is roped down from behind by Chandler Clatterbaugh, who grabbed his legs and pulled him down immediately for no gain and maybe even a loss of about 1. It looked like Bowling was maybe going to be off to the races again, but Clatterbaugh bared down and took him down quickly.
Yeah, that was a great play by Clatterbaugh. He flew up from the safety position, and before Bowling could get outside, which we've seen what happens when Bowling gets outside, Clatterbaugh snagged his ankles and brought him down. Great play by Clatterbaugh.
Grant Restmeyer in the shotgun and Scrivens the deep back. And he's going to run the option to Bowling. He pitches out to Bowling, and Bowling trips as he reaches the 16-yard line and falls forward to about the 14, and he's just short of the line to gain. That was a very dangerous play Flower Mound was facing there, and looked like it was maybe going to get broken for more, but it's going to be 4th and 1. And will McKinney Boyd opt for a field goal, or will they go for it here, leading 13-0 with 9:45 and counting to play in the second quarter? They are going to go for it, and Flower Mound going to cram 8 guys in the box to try to stop this one here. Offset eye right side. That's actually the pistol. And they give to Scrivens, and he maneuvers his way across the 12 to the 10, inside the 10 to the 9. He's got the first down, 1st and goal to go for the McKinney Boyd Broncos.
And the right side of the Jaguar defensive front seemed to get some penetration there and force Scrivens to bounce outside. Unfortunately, when he bounced outside, there was no Flower Mound defender there waiting for him, so he was able to pick up that first down. But I feel like the defensive line really did their job there in forcing penetration into the backfield and forcing Scrivens to change his path.
Aaron Natchez, Daryl Rutherford, Brandon Baskew across the front as they give to Scrivens straight up the middle to the 10-5. Into the end zone he goes for a touchdown, and this one won't be wiped out. This one will count. No flags on this play, and it's now 19-0, the Broncos ahead, with an extra point attempt coming up here from place kicker Andrew Smith for the McKinney Boyd Broncos.
And that drive coming in a little bit longer than McKinney Boyd's previous drives, coming in at 12 plays, mostly because of that penalty that forced them back to kind of start over again.
Ryan Sandman's hold is down from the snap, and Andrew Smith's extra point kick is up and good. It's now 20-0 McKinney Boyd. We'll take a break and come back in a moment with more Flower Mound Jaguar football on Champion Sports Radio.
Rapid Med Urgent Care Center in Highland Village provides Southern Denton County families with state-of-the-art emergency medical care right in your neighborhood. From checkups to broken bones, school vaccinations, sports physicals, and more, you can count on Rapid Med for all of your medical needs. Rapid Med is proud to provide the latest in concussion management through the IMPACT program in partnership with the Texas Health Sports Network. Rapid Med Urgent Care Center is dedicated to providing you with quality care quickly. Visit rapidmed.com.
Back at Neil Wilson Stadium, where McKinney Boyd is tacked on to their lead. It's now 20-0 with 9 minutes to play in the second quarter. Jaguars got to get it going here and got to get an offensive drive mounted here. They've had very little yardage to show for in this in time of possession. As the kick from Andrew Smith sails deep, going to be fielded at the goal line, and going back, carrying him into the end zone with his momentum is Nick Ryan. So it's an automatic touchback. The Jaguars will take over at their own 25, 1st and 10. Last series, we saw Hayden Hauser into the lineup. He played 3 or 4 snaps and had a good, lively arm there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's just a little too. Yeah, I hate the cliche the announcers use, too amped up, but it probably really was. You know, he's like just overexcited. But now Logan Davis is going to, after watching that last series from the sideline, is going to come back into the game here and take the commands on this possession. Sprint out left side. He squares up to throw, does so, and it is caught. What a great catch made over there on the far side of the field by Freddie Jackson. We've called his name a lot during the season, and that was a great catch because that defender was really bearing down.
Yeah, there was a defender right in his face. He cut in front of it. I almost thought it may have been a pick, but Freddie Jackson does a great job coming back to the ball, stealing that ball away from the defender, seeing it all the way into his hands, and getting Logan Davis his first positive yardage completion on the night.
Clayton Johnson, Brendan Alves, and Dylan Gorlick split to the right side. And Logan Davis looking right, throws, caught. What a nice catch made up around the 41-yard line by Dylan Gorlick. And he had to kind of reach back. That was a little bit behind him, but tremendous concentration and a great catch made by Dylan Gorlick to move the sticks for the Jaguars here. So they've got some offense going, Taylor, on this possession, and that's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, that was a great snag by Gorlick. I mean, he kept coming down to the ground, reaching back, catching it with all his hands. That's what your coaches always teach you. Don't let it come to your chest. Catch it with your hands. Gorlick did that and gets Flower Mound another first down as they really get some, hopefully can build some momentum offensively on this drive, both to get on the scoreboard and to give that defense a little bit of rest.
Logan in the shotgun again. Scanning the field, going over the middle, long, caught at the 40, going away to the 30, and the ball pops loose. Did Flower Mound get it back, or did it fall away to the Broncos? And that is a shame because Colton Wilson had a great catch made, and the ball just kind of got away from him as he was starting to race down the field for what probably would have been an apparent touchdown.
Yeah, that is a tough break. Colton Wilson ran a great route, made a great catch, made a guy miss, and looked to have a clear path to the end zone, which would have been incredible for the Jaguars. Unfortunately, that ball just popped out on him and was recovered by the Broncos, who appear to also have been called for another unsportsmanlike penalty after the play was over, so they will still gain possession.
We think it's their fourth of the half.
Yeah, that is. If you include, I think they got 2 on that, or 3 on that one play where a player was ejected, and then there's number 4, which they still get the turnover, so that's huge, but it does put them in worse field position and puts the Jaguars D in a little bit better of a position to put some pressure on this Boyd offense.
The turnover, unfortunate, of course, but the good sign was that the Jaguar offense got clicking there and got the ball moving down the field, and they've got confidence that they could do that again. As Boyd takes over here, leading 20-0, and Restmeyer, who's got a really strong arm, fires it to the far side of the field. It is caught over there by their big tight end, Cameron Powell, who makes the snag on the far side of the field. It says Powell's 5'11", 185, but he looks a lot bigger than that.
Yes, he does.
That's the biggest 185 I've ever seen in a uniform. Restmeyer in the pistol again gives to Bowling the deep back to the 20, up the middle of the 25, 30, and Bowling fumbles the ball, and Flower Mound has recovered at the 45-yard line. What a turn of events here, and a great play made by the Jaguars. It was either Austin McKee or it may have been Devin Coleman who came up with that.
Yeah, that was a great play. They get the ball right back just about where they ended up, recover that fumble, and it was another fumble in much the same way. Had an open field and just the ball popped out on him. Great job jumping on it by that Jaguar defense.
Well, I think he got stripped from behind, actually. I think somebody caught up behind him after he made a cutback because he made a really nice run through the middle. But I think a defender, and I didn't catch the number, I think punched it out or stripped it from behind. And Flower Mound comes up with a big takeaway at the 45-yard line in Bronco territory. Trailing 20-0 here, and now a whistle stops and a flag flies, and the back judge, Ross Smith, throws it. They're going to get Flower Mound for illegal procedure here, back them up to the 50-yard line. And, we were talking a moment ago about big number 75, and we determined that's Evan Curl. Yeah. It's got to be. He was the captain coming out for the toss, and they just like to change up numbers on us, don't they? And don't really update the program as it was used to 70. It was looking for 74 also.
It makes it tough, but luckily Evan Curl's pretty easy to notice out there.
Logan Davis in the shotgun, scans the field, pressured, rolls out right, throws, and then this one is going to fall kind of at the knees of Brendan Alves, who was pressured over there, defended by Braden McFadden, the linebacker. It goes incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 15, and Alves not really able to get a lot of separation. Really good coverage by McFadden from his linebacking spot.
And we'll see if the Jaguars try to work the middle of the field again here. We saw in the last possession their 2 big completions they did have that gained a lot of yards for both over that center portion of the field. We'll see if Logan Davis looks that way here on 2nd down.
Daly is the hound on the right side, kind of the wing back, and Logan Davis racing out to his right, looking for Alves again, but it goes incomplete. Brendan Alves defended over there by the safety Boone Tate, and on that incomplete pass, it will bring up 3rd and 15. So Flower Mound not quite fully using 5 wideouts, keeping Daly in as the hound to help block, and give Davis a little more protection, which, Taylor, we think we agreed that they really needed that extra protection because Davis was under so much duress last week when they went the full 5 wides.
And it seems like that's why they roll him out a lot, just because there is a lot of pressure typically, so they'll pull Marwood and have him roll out.
In the pocket this time, though, he's going to tuck it under and run. Racing to the far side of the field to the 50 and slung down at about the 46-yard line. And that is going to bring up a 4th down as he gets some of the penalty yardage back from a few plays ago. A gain of about 4.5. It will bring up 4th and about 10. And if you're Flower Mound, down 3 scores, 20 to that. Well, they are going to punt. Let's see that Josh Grant and the kicking team are going to come back out there and punt it away. Back to receive this kick is the ever dangerous Brandon Bowling. And that's Josh Grant has done a great job of kicking away from Bowling tonight as he gets some pressure there. And Bowling fields it at the 12. Coming to the 15, 20, and he is crushed at about the 23-yard line. Actually, a good return of 10 yards on the punt return and a good punt by Kelly of 36 yards. And we have got a personal foul again against McKinney Boyd. I saw the players get kind of tangled up out of the corner of my eye, and I saw the flag fly, but I had no idea who head referee Tim Hayashi was throwing that against, and this one is going against McKinney Boyd again. Boy, they have had 5 15-yard penalties in the first half. Coach Don Drake cannot be happy about that part of the game, even though his team is up big.
Yes, and this is, again, huge for the Jaguars. It's going to push McKinney Boyd way back into their own territory, about at their own 12-yard line, and the Broncos keep doing it to themselves. Like you said, this is their 5th 15-yard penalty, all very preventable penalties, 4 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, and now a 15-yard personal foul. This has got to be really frustrating for that coaching staff.
Steven Driscoll split out to the wide side on the near side of the field. Chris Irvin came up there to provide momentary in-your-face pressure, but he peels back, and now an illegal procedure penalty whistled against Boyd. That will push them back from the 11 to almost the 5-yard line. So if you're Flower Mound, this is one way to get them going the direction you want to get them going. If they could come up with that takeaway again, they'd be in prime position to put points on the board.
Yeah, if they could get the takeaway here, this could turn into a very different game very quickly as they have Boyd way back at their own 5-yard line.
One back set. That is Scrivens. He takes the handoff coming across the 10 to the 15-yard line. He gets some of the yardage back, a gain of about 8 for Dedrick Scrivens. And Scrivens, a heck of a ball carrier. He had 619 yards on 91 carries coming into the game and 5 touchdowns. He's had a couple of touchdown carries tonight. He was 3rd in Area 6A. So they faced Courtney Miles in week 1, Trey Hunter last week, the upstart freshman from the JV, and now Dedrick Scrivens. It's Restmeyer with time in the pocket and a big arm going downfield long, and it is caught on the far side of the field, and that was Steven Driscoll making the catch way down there on the go pattern down the sideline. A nice throw by Restmeyer, who's got a big, strong arm.
Yeah, Restmeyer showed off that arm there. That was a huge throw down the sideline and just fell right in between Clayton Johnson and Chandler Clatterbaugh for the completion.
1st and 10 at the 49. Handoff to Scrivens. Big hole at the middle. 45-40, 35-30. Cuts back to the far side of the 20 to the 10. Inside the 10 to the 6-yard line. A 43-yard run that time by Dedrick Scrivens all the way to the, well, they're going to mark him at the 7 rather than the 6. It'll be 1st and goal for the McKinney Boyd Broncos. So penalties or not, they have managed to persevere and overcome those here.
Without a doubt, and they've moved down the field very quickly here from their own 5-yard line down to Flower Mound's 5-yard line in just a few seconds.
And flags actually fly and the whistles blow before Scrivens can get this handoff, as there was movement in the line, and it's another procedure penalty against the Boyd Broncos. So that will mark them back a little bit, and maybe Hayden Brewer getting trying to turned an ankle there or something. He is down on the turf. And Aaron Nachi's looking to come in and spell him, I think, as Hayden Brewer slow to get up here. And I think he got caught up in that pile a little bit. There was a big pile of bodies there that Scrivens ran into, and I saw Scrivens trying to kind of kick to get his foot out of the way and get out of the pile as play got started a little bit late. So with this break in the action, we will take a break too. Come back in a moment. You're listening to Jaguar Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Neil Wilson Stadium, the venue, and our score right now is McKinney Boyd 20 and the Flower Mound Jaguars nothing. And Hayden Brewer kind of shaking up on that last play as the fans cheer him on, give him a big hand here as he comes off the field with a little bit of help. Probably turned an ankle. We hope that's all it was. But sometimes you get caught up in those piles like that and can turn an ankle pretty easily. Flower Mound Football would like to say thank you to Steve Swanson at Whirly Ball for sponsoring this broadcast. Corporate events, team building, and private parties are more fun when you are zipping around in a Whirly Bug, and they have the most affordable laser tag in town. As play gets underway quickly, and it is Scrivens on the carry for a touchdown. Wow, they didn't waste much time with Hayden Brewer getting off the field before they ran a play.
And Scrivens with another big gain there, and another touchdown for him as he puts the Broncos up 26-0 as we await our extra point.
Andrew Smith on to try this extra point. Kyle Seamus, the big tackle, is the deep snapper. Ryan Salmon to hold. Big rush from the Jaguars special team corners, but Andrew Smith boots it through, and it's now 27-0. 5:11 to play before halftime. We'll take a break and come back in a moment with more Jaguar football on Champion Sports Radio.
Looking for a power drink for some energy boost for my marketing? I'm dragging.
You know, I saw your marketing tools, your website, brochures. Remember, there is no energy drink or blue pill for business growth. You need a good marketing boost. Call Jeff at mbstoday.com. They will get you straightened out.
Go online at mbstoday.com or call toll-free 1-855-224-2537, extension 103.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management. The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got. But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Andrew Smith kicks it off here, and it is going to be fielded by Clayton Johnson at the 3. Racing to his right, to the 5, to the 10, to the 18-yard line goes Clayton Johnson, and that is where the Jaguars will take over, trailing in the game 27-0.
And we'll see if this Jaguar offense can get something going here. We have 5 minutes and 5 seconds left here before halftime. Down by 4 scores. Got to see if there's something going on the offensive side. And we'll see if Logan Davis comes back out or if they go back to the sophomore Hayden Hauser, who we saw for one possession earlier in the game, and it does look like it's going to be Logan Davis once again.
Well, they really did have something going that last possession, just the unfortunate fumble. 2 possessions ago before that turnover. Davis fakes the gives a shoulder fake and tucks it under and runs, lowers his shoulder across the 18 to the 19. Might have only been given no gain up to the line of scrimmage, as the official is signaling something about getting the place at 40-second. The 40-second play clock had not started, and he was making sure the clock operator had that going. Davis in the shotgun. 2 receivers split to the far side. Ball on the right hash. Davis under pressure, and he's going to be sacked back inside the 15 at the 13, as they had a linebacker blitz coming that time, and making the tackle Landon Livingston, who is supposedly 5'11", 150, but he looks bigger and plays bigger.
Looks like a lot of these McKinney Boyd Broncos are a little bit bigger than they are on the rosters.
And, Coach Johnson said in his pregame interview that this was probably the best offensive line they'd face, and, it does look like it, because Flower Mound is playing really well up front. The score might not indicate it, but they are playing pretty well up front, but this offensive line they face is really good. Davis in the shotgun, 3rd and long. He is under pressure again, and he is going to be sacked again. Back inside the 5-yard line. Actually, they're going to give him progress to the 6, but that is an 11-yard sack by Kyle Seamus, their big 250-pound tackle, the second sack of the series, and Flower Mound will have to punt it away, and on comes Josh Grant to punt it away again, and Brandon Bowling standing back at the 42 to receive this. And no matter what happens, you figure McKinney Boyd is bound to get pretty good field position out of this.
And this is always a tough place to punt from. It's always hard to kick out of your own end zone.
Right, barring any kind of muffed punt. He's awaiting the snap, bell tie snap. He gets the kick away nicely. A little bit of a wobbly kick fielded by Bowling at the 33, coming to the 25-20, 15-10, and tackled from behind, and making a touchdown-saving tackle for the Jaguars over there was Alan Weckhorst in on that stop, and also helping out was Caleb Cantwell on the special teams coverage, the senior Caleb Cantwell. But we said it, that no matter what happened, Boyd was bound to get good field position out of it, and a 24-yard return by Brandon Bowling.
And this is great for that Bronco offense, as they're going to be able to try to put some more points on the board here before the half, as they have a very short field. We'll see if this stout Jaguar defense can get a stop and at least hold them either to 3 points or to a turnover on downs here inside the 10.
Ressmeyer gives to Bowling on the end around, and Baskew sheds a tackle and pulls Bowling down for a loss of 3. That was a great job by Brandon Baskew, because Tyrese Robinson, who's 6'3", 250, had him locked in on a block, and Baskew shed the block and managed to pull down Bowling. Either of those things is tough to do, and he did both.
He did both. Again, Baskew with another huge play. I mean, he's been playing great since he came up.
And they give to Scrivens straight up the middle to the 10-5 touchdown. Dedrick Scrivens, his 3rd TD of the night in the first half, and it's looking scary here at the moment for Flower Mound, as they're now down 33-0, and this is the toughest game they've had all year. They've been engaged in close ones, and now this one's kind of getting away from them, and this is probably one again that could have been close, or maybe could be much closer. Andrew Smith on to try the extra point. The hold is down. The kick is high, long, and good. And McKinney Boyd takes a 34-0 lead with 2:26 to play. We'll come back in a moment with more Flower Mound football on Champion Sports Radio.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Back at Neil Wilson Stadium, our new score, McKinney Boyd 34, Flower Mound 0. Andrew Smith to kick this off. This will be his fifth kickoff of the night. And back to receive for Flower Mound back at their own 6-yard line are both Clayton Johnson and Nick Ryan. And this kick goes kind of in between the two, but it's going to be fielded by Johnson coming to the right to the 5, 10, 15, and upended over there by Braden Webb, the 5'11", 190-pound junior. So a pretty good return for Johnson of about 17 yards. You know, and they still, Taylor, are spending a lot of time and effort and energy, putting a lot of effort into a horizontal return that they could. It looks like they could get more out of it if they turned it up sooner.
Yeah, and that's something we've seen every game. It just must be something they see on film that they think they can take advantage of.
They give to Boban, the tailback, running from right to left. And Boban looking for yardage over there, but not able to. Oh, and a flag flies late. And not sure who this is going to be against. That came from the line judge on the far side. Or, excuse me, the umpire on the far side, Corey Booker. But not sure who it's going to be against. But it came near it looks like maybe against Flower Mound. So McKinney Boyd has certainly had their share of penalties tonight, but this one goes against the Jaguars. Half the distance to the goal. Or actually, they're just going to mark that a 5-yarder. I saw one official signal a legal substitution, but that was so late in the play to throw that flag. I can't imagine it was that, but it was just a 5-yard penalty back to the 7-yard line. And now another flag flies. I'm not sure if this is a free play or if this is going to be an illegal formation penalty against Flower Mound. This flag did come out early, but play continued. And referee Tim Hayashi, the head referee, did not stop play. We'll get the meaning of this penalty here. We've had not too many flags on the Jaguars tonight, actually, but quite a few on McKinney Boyd.
Yeah, the Jaguars have played a pretty clean game to this point. We'll have to wait and see what this penalty is. May have to move half the distance to the goal. They are waving. It looks like they're waving off the penalty here.
Maybe it could have been an instance where an official miscounted. Maybe he thought he counted 12, and then they looked back and the other officials conferred and agreed there was only 11 out there. For a flag to come out that early and then to be picked up. But it is 3rd and 21, a bundle needed here for the Jaguars to try to move the sticks. Let's see if they can move the sticks again here. They've got Matthew Shore split out wide to the left side. Logan Davis, the quarterback, makes the handoff to Boban, throws over the middle, caught by Clayton Johnson up around the 22-yard line. A really nice deep toss on a crossing pattern over the middle for a gain of about 15, but unfortunately they needed 21. So they are going to have to punt, and McKinney Boyd's going to take a timeout with 1:32 to play. We'll take a quick timeout, too, and come back in a moment. You're listening to Flower Mound Jaguar Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Hey, honey, why are you home so late?
Don't even get me started.
Did Sally come in late again today?
Sally comes in late every day. Pete can't stay off the internet, and Roger does everything but his job. It gets so frustrating. My employees can't be accountable for their own actions.
You need to contact Strategic Direct Solutions, LLC. My company has been using SDS for years, and they have totally upgraded several positions for us.
That sounds like a great idea and a great solution.
Make sure your company has the best employees.
That's right, in the best positions, so your organization can achieve success. Strategic Direct Solutions is a staffing solutions firm which has been supporting small to Fortune 500 companies across North America, providing great talent.
Visit us on the web at www.sdsllc.com.
And Josh Grant punts this ball straight up to about the 44-yard line in Jaguar territory. And a flag flies at the end of that play where the Jaguars down the ball. That was thrown from line judge Scott Fleming. I'm not sure what the meaning of this one could be. It is a delay of game. Did I read that correctly? Kind of a odd call, but that is what head referee Tim Hayashi signaled against McKinney Boyd. And will no, he's walking back further than 5 yards.
I do believe he signaled delay of game. So this is we've had an interesting series of penalties here in the last few plays, but as McKinney Boyd comes back out onto the field with 1:20 left before halftime, we're going to see if they try to put one more score on the board before we head to the locker room.
1:20 to play. Restmeyer in the shotgun. 7-step drop. Screens it out. Near side. Caught at the 40, 45. Down the sideline to the 50 goes Brandon Bowling across the 45 in Jaguar territory to the 41-yard line. And he has enough for a first down. Yeah, a few weird things on that. One, the call of delay of game, and one, the spot foul. The flag was right about where the ball was down, but they marked the penalty back 10 yards. I'm not sure I can figure that. They must have ruled the spot foul further up. But it's kind of arbitrary where they mark it from. Restmeyer in the shotgun with time. He throws down over the middle. Incomplete. Almost pulling that in was Dedrick Scrivens, and he would have had a touchdown had he been able to catch up to it.
And Scrivens was split out there in the slot that time. We've seen him back at tailback for most of the game today, and he's had a lot of production. But out there at the slot, he just ran a skinny post, was working that in between the hashes there, and Restmeyer made a great throw just off the hands of Scrivens that puts Boyd back in 2nd and 10.
Grant Restmeyer in the shotgun. Has time. Now tucks it under. Going to run forward across the 35. And as he gets to the 34, he runs into a stone wall of Jaguar defenders, including Brandon Baskew, Austin McKee, Darrell Rutherford, and Robert Darnell. All those guys meet him there, and Tyson Spencer too, all meet him there to bring him down after about a 6-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and about, well, they're going to give him progress up to the 33 and call it 3rd and 2. We will keep it here with 56.7 seconds to play before halftime. Some other scores to give you from around 6A and the rest of district play. Well, we'll get to those here in just a moment when we come across them. As McKinney Boyd leads in this one 34-0 in the second. The Colony and Frisco are already in the third quarter, tied at 7. South Grand Prairie leads Abilene Cooper 28-3 right before halftime. And Frisco Lone Star ahead of Frisco Liberty 14-10 in the third.
Another one here in District 6A. We have Hebron 21-7 over Marcus in the second quarter.
3rd and 2. Restmeyer in the shotgun. Hands off to Dedrick Scrivens. And not much there. And a flag flies at the end of that play, too.
We saw a pretty clean game there through about a quarter and a half. And about a quarter and a half into this game, we've started to see flags just flying all over the place. I think we've seen about 5 flags in the last 6 plays that we've seen on the field.
And this one's on sportsmanlike conduct, again on McKinney Boyd.
And that is the 6th time tonight that they have been called for unsportsmanlike conduct, but Coach Johnson and the Jaguars are going to choose to decline it to force the Broncos into a 4th and 2 situation.
That's weird, yet you would think it was a dead ball foul, but it was a live ball foul, not a dead ball. So it is 4th and 2, and clock running, under 40 seconds to play. Restmeyer in the shotgun. Gives to Scrivens, has room to the outside, out to the edge, to the 30, down to the 25, and tackle from behind at the 20 on the far side of the field. And over there to make the tackle for the Jaguars was Chandler Clatterbaugh and Clayton Johnson. Austin McKee also in on the tackle, but after a gain of about 12 yards by Dedrick Scrivens, and they have the first down. Restmeyer in the shotgun, looking left, throwing. It is caught up around the 15 by Stephen Driscoll, and he is pulled down by Austin McKee and Nick Ryan, but not Stephen Driscoll, but Jacob Cantrell after he gets a gain of about 5. So 13.4 seconds to play. Excuse me there a moment. 13.4 seconds to play with Flower Mound trailing in this one before halftime, 34-0. It has been a challenge indeed, and it seems like Taylor, you can chalk it up to two guys, Brandon Bowling and Dedrick Scriven. Even with Grant Restmeyer, what he can do with his arm, Dedrick Scrivens and Brandon Bowling have been the bugaboo here tonight for Flower Mound's defense.
Yeah, and Bowling has been used all over the field, and I guess so has Stevens. We've seen him, or Scrivens, sorry. We've seen him split out at wide receiver a few times, but Bowling, typically a wide receiver, we've seen him back at tailback. We've seen him in the flex position. We've seen him all over the place, and Restmeyer's made some good throws, but on the outside, Scrivens and Bowling have made people miss, and they're the ones that have gotten in the end zone and kind of tortured this Jaguar defense throughout the night.
Cassidy Wood split in the slot on the right. Restmeyer in trouble, tucks it under, now avoids pressure and throws as he gets to about the 14-yard line, intended for Brandon Bowling, and great defense by the Jaguars. Nick Ryan and Blake Winters out there from their safety spots converge to break that up, and it will bring up 2nd and 10 with 6 seconds left, and that's going to bring on Andrew Smith, who's going to try to tack on a 31-yard field goal, which would give the Jaguars the Broncos a big lead here at half. Add 3 to their big lead. Ryan Salmon to hold. The hold is down. The kick is up, and is it good? It is good. It just sneaks in the right upright at half, at the horn, as the half ends. And our new score is McKinney Boyd, 37. Flower Mound, nothing. We will take a break and come back here for the Shockbox DFW halftime show. You are listening to Flower Mound Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Back at Neil Wilson Stadium here at halftime. Barry Probst and Taylor Wilson here with you. And to remind you, you can follow us on Twitter. Me at bprobst30 and Taylor at TK Wilson CSR on Twitter. And we'll try to keep you up to date with Flower Mound Jaguar stats and info as we come across it during the week. We gave you other scores from the Frisco area. There were a lot of games there, including Frisco Liberty trailing Lone Star 14-10 in the third. Frisco Heritage ahead of Frisco Centennial, also 14-10 in the second. Little Elm way out in front of Frisco Independence, 32-6 in the second. And as well as Mansfield Summit out in front of Red Oak Big, 29-7. Frisco Legacy Christian in front of Arlington Grace Prep, 10-6 in the second. In the Garland area, Garland leads Naaman Forest 21-6 in the second quarter. Saxe ahead of Robert E. Lee out of Tyler, 28-21 in the second. A high-scoring game, and I got to give kudos to my alma mater, Tyler Lee. Taylor, last week they knocked off the number one team in State 5A, their hated rival across town, John Tyler. They were down 17-3 and looked dead in the water, and somehow came back. I have no idea how. I saw the final score. They came back and won 37-31. So kudos to the Red Raiders down in Tyler for coming back and winning that one. And anything else out of 6-6A you got to pass along to us?
Well, there's some other big games. In 6-6A, I updated you during the broadcast a few moments ago that Marcus is currently trailing Hebron 21-7. And then in 6A, not in 6-6A, but in 6A we have Cedar Hill taking on Coppell, which is a really big game tonight. Cedar Hill just narrowly in the lead, 20-17. other games around Mansfield Legacy over Waxahachie 10-7, Mansfield Lake Ridge over Lancaster 12-7, and Waco Midway is leading Duncanville 35-14.
Some good games on tap again tonight, no doubt. And last night, Allen defeated Plano 42-3, the Thursday night contest in 6-6A. And, boy, here's another. Tonight, Flower Mound on the short end here at half, 37-0, where the only thing that has gone right largely for Flower Mound is the one takeaway and the big penalties that have been issued against McKinney Boyd. Several of the unsportsmanlike conduct, but a similar score over in Plano, where the Plano West Wolves are devouring the Panthers of Plano East 35-0 in the second. Very surprising because Plano East does have some weapons. We saw them last week, and it's really a surprise that both Plano East and Flower Mound are so badly getting outscored tonight, because both very good and both capable of playing very competitive football.
And they had shown it over the first 3 weeks of the season. Both those teams, Plano East and Flower Mound, who we saw play a very close game last week, played incredibly close games in their first 2 weeks. They were competitive offensively and defensively, and it just shows how a few small things going the other way can lead to a 35-0 score or a 37-0 score at halftime. And I feel like that's what's happened tonight. Flower Mound has had a few bad breaks. The one time they were moving the ball down the field ended up fumbling it away. And their defense is just matched up against a tough offense with Brandon Bowling and Dedrick Scrivens. And it's just led to a game that at halftime, Coach Johnson's got to be in there trying to pump up his guys and get them out and play a little bit of a better second half, maybe get some points on the board and play a little bit better defense.
Well, Plano West is, really keeping Plano East in check tonight. Miklo Smalls, who had a big week last week, just 10 carries for 7 yards tonight. And Jaquan Douglas, 9 carries for 5 yards.
And that's tough, and it's when we look over here to Flower Mound and in our game here tonight between Flower Mound and McKinney Boyd is really doing much of the same to Flower Mound, just like Plano West is holding Plano East in check. Logan Davis, who has continually had big game after big game, running the ball, throwing the ball, hasn't been able to get going tonight. Currently just 5 for 10 for 55 yards. And then running the ball has 9 attempts, but because of a few sacks actually has negative yardage, negative 12 yards. And Flower Mound's offense has just really been bottled up. And then the McKinney Boyd offense has been pretty much the opposite. They've been striking on big plays. They currently have 26 rushes for 230 yards and another 131 passing yards, although a lot of those passing yards have come on very short passes that Brandon Bowling and Dedrick Scrivens have turned into big gains.
And back to the looking at the Plano West, Plano East game, we faced Miklo Smalls last week. We saw him in action, and he's really good, really good talent there. And we said he has 10 carries for 7 yards. Trey Hunter not playing tonight for some reason, and Jaquan Douglas being very much held in check to 9 carries for 5 yards in that contest. Meanwhile, for Plano West, Robert Calmeri has 10 carries for 91 yards, and Sosa Jamabo, one of the better players in this district, has 19 carries for 183 at half, averaging almost 10 a pop at halftime and 3 touchdowns. So that's a big, tall order. And if it gets going one way, sometimes it's tough to reverse it, for a given team.
And it's interesting how similar these two games are we're talking about. You were just talking about that back for Plano West. And, we have Dedrick Stevens tonight, who has 19 carries, 187 yards, almost the exact same numbers, 9.84 yards a carry, and 4 touchdowns here in just the first half. So really, the two teams we saw face off in a very close, very well-played game last week are both facing tough opponents this week and are both struggling to contain their lead running backs.
Well, we'll take a quick break in a moment and come back and try to get you updated on the standings at 6-6A and tell you about how that's shaping up. We'll come back in a moment with more Jaguar football here at the Shockbox DFW Halftime Show on Champion Sports Radio.
Rapid Med Urgent Care Center is dedicated to providing you with quality care quickly. Visit rapidmed.com.
Hey, honey, why are you home so late?
Don't even get me started.
Did Sally come in late again today?
Sally comes in late every day. Pete can't stay off the internet, and Roger does everything but his job. It gets so frustrating. My employees can't be accountable for their own actions.
You need to contact Strategic Direct Solutions, LLC. My company has been using SDS for years, and they have totally upgraded several positions for us.
That sounds like a great idea and a great solution.
Make sure your company has the best employees.
That's right, in the best positions, so your organization can achieve success. Strategic Direct Solutions is a staffing solutions firm which has been supporting small to Fortune 500 companies across North America, providing great talent.
Visit us on the web at www.sdsllc.com or call us at 972-355-7500 extension 305.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute online at gdyo.org/jazz.
Halftime here at Neil Wilson Stadium while the McKinney Boyd Band entertains. We'll let you hear some of that in just a moment. They entertain here where Flower Mound trails McKinney Boyd at halftime. And this is homecoming, tough homecoming for Flower Mound as they are on the short end of a 37-0 deficit. Some other scores to pass along to you from 4-6A. Arlington Bowie ahead of Colleyville Heritage in the second quarter, 21-14, and Fort Worth Paschal leads Molina 42-0 at the break. Elsewhere in 6-6A, Flower Mound Marcus is trailing Hebron 21-7. Plano West leads Plano East 35-0, and last night Plano fell to Allen. Allen, the top team in this district in 6-6A, and the number 2 team nationally, that according to Max Prep's poll. And in 7-6A, you've got Richland on top of Grand Prairie, 17-7.5. Midlothian blanking Haltom, 24-0 at half. Capel and Cedar Hill in a barn burner, tied at 20. That one right at the half as well. Going on to 8-6A and seeing the schedule for tonight in that district, Mansfield beat Eastern Hills 27-6. That was actually from last night. In fact, 2 Thursday games, one of those involving DeSoto with the electric Jalen Thompson, who came on for the injured Tristan Wallace for the DeSoto Eagles, and they knocked off Cibolo Steel 29-24 last night in a great game down at McLean Stadium. McLean Stadium keeps hosting some great games, high school games down there. Baylor has trampled some tomato cans in the early going, and I guess the fans see games they want to see and big wins down there. But they have had some great high school games in the early going there. Elsewhere, South Grand Prairie ahead of Abilene Cooper, 28-10 at half. Waco Midway out in front of Duncanville, 35-14 right before half. And, some of these teams, Taylor, they are actually getting the benefit of getting some non-district tune-ups in there, as opposed to what you get in 6-6A, where these teams are just thrust right into the heart of district play from the get-go. McKinney Boyd themselves had to start off with Allen last week, and maybe a lot of teams say, we want to get this out of the way because no one has beaten them the last couple of years, so you kind of formally chalk it up as a loss. Now, most teams go, it's not realistic to win. No one's beating them. No one has beaten them. It's going to take they've had some close calls maybe along the way, but most of their close calls have been in the playoffs pretty deep, not in regular play. Going on to 11-6A, Rockwall. Last night they beat up North Garland 58-7. Garland leads Naaman Forest 21-14 at half. Saxe had Robert E. Lee out of Tyler at half. 28-21. They're actually they may be in the same district as well now. And Rowlett ahead of Lakeview Centennial 14-10 at half. So those are some of the scores from around the area and other games. And next week, Flower Mound will be on the road again, and this one at Plano. They will be taking on the Wildcats at John Clark Stadium. Pre-game kickoff time pregame show will start at 7. Kickoff at 7:30. You can tune into that one again at championsportsradio.com on your iPhone, on your Android, your tablet, your iPad, or your desktop computer. Tell some friends and listen to us at championsportsradio.com and go to the Flower Mound Jaguar homepage. After that, it is Marcus for the Mound Showdown right back here. And then the 10th, it'll be another LISD school at Louisville at Max Goldsmith Stadium, rather. And then Hebron. Allen comes way late in October for Flower Mound, and we'll see what kind of record they've got by then. But the Jaguars, they really had in the first half one very good offensive series and could have put points on the board. And other than that, though, they haven't been able to generate a lot of offense tonight. And, of course, McKinney Boyd has a little bit to do with that.
Yeah, and it's always difficult whenever the offense isn't able to move the football or produce first downs. So it is difficult on the defense. These kids are in really great condition, but it's still hard to be out on the field as much as they have been. And the Flower Mound offense has just produced 3 first downs here in the first half, so the defense has been on the field a lot. And the Boyd offense has been able to really get going and has racked up 361 yards of total offense versus the Flower Mound total of 69 yards of total offense. So there's a big difference there in yardage totals here in the first half.
Yeah, the time of possession has not even really been that much of a factor in this game.
Not at all.
McKinney Boyd has had a combination of sustained sustained drives of 6 or more plays that spanned a good chunk of the field, and then they've also had some good field position through good punt returns by Brandon Bowling, and then other things that have given them just the edge in this game to get good field position and flip the field and get an easy score.
And the thing about McKinney Boyd is usually when you have a highly penalized half, usually you struggle. I mean, they have 6 penalties for 61 yards. Most of those have been unsportsmanlike conduct or personal fouls, and yet they've been able to overcome them almost every time. They had a extremely long, great run by Dedrick Scrivens called all the way back, and all it did was prolong a drive that ended up resulting in a touchdown anyway.
Yeah, indeed. That's exactly the case. McKinney Boyd, not as a partisan a crowd on the visiting section tonight, but Flower Mound faithful here in big number tonight, again, as they always are. We have great numbers of fans in the stands and listening on the internet to us here. And on that note, we'll let you listen to the Flower Mound Band here during halftime. And that is the Flower Mound Jaguar Band you've been listening to here at halftime at Neil Wilson Stadium, where they really put on a great entertaining show. The band's fabulous here. A little bit more of the act as they're breaking it down here at halftime. And it kind of offsets the kind of the sour taste some of the fans are experiencing with Flower Mound down big in this one at half, 37-0. And it's really been a lot of Dedrick Scrivens and Grant Restmeyer. And I tell you what, this Grant Restmeyer has looked really good, Taylor. And if he doesn't have any Division I scholars, he's a junior. He's still got a year left to play. But as the homecoming court is introduced here, then something's wrong, because that kid is really fabulous and looks to have a good future ahead of him. They're a real tall guy, 6'3", 190, good strong arm, and ought to be a really top prospect for some team out there.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, you look at his arm strength and you look at his size, those two qualities alone would attract some college recruiters, and then you put that on top of the fact that he's pretty accurate, 41 of 77 on the year, and then 10 of 14 tonight for over 100 yards this evening. He's an accurate guy. He's got good size. He's got good arm strength. And we've actually seen him make a few really big-time throws tonight that have got to be attracting some colleges from around the area.
Yeah, indeed. And the same could be said for Dedrick Scrivens. He looks the part, too. 5'9", 195, a good ideal back, size for a back at the collegiate level, let alone the high school level. I mean, he's a terrific talent back there. And Brandon Bowling may be a bit undersized, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't underestimate that guy, being a part potentially on some team. You've seen tons of small, diminutive guys making it more in spread offenses across the country, and he could just as well be one. Evan Curl, one of the better prospects here for Flower Mound, and with some offers to some Ivy League schools like Harvard. And it'll be interesting to see where he goes, too, and where some of the Flower Mound guys get offered. And, we mentioned one of their alumni, Hunter Lee, with a big touchdown catch last Thursday night against North Texas of all people. He was up the road at Apogee Stadium, and North Texas handedly upset or defeated by Louisiana Tech, and thanks in part to Hunter Lee, a week after their big win over SMU. But it is halftime here as the homecoming court gets introduced. We'll take a break and come back in a moment with more of the Shockbox DFW halftime show. You're listening to Jaguar Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShopboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Homecoming here at Neil Wilson Stadium in Flower Mound. Our score at halftime, the McKinney Boyd Broncos on top of the Flower Mound Jaguars, 37-0. Dedrick Scrivens has had several touchdowns tonight, and Flower Mound, going to see him in their nightmares, I guess. But, Brandon Baskew stands out as a guy that's had a really good half. I love watching this kid. I mean, they all do a really good job, but I love watching him with one-handed grabs on these backs. We saw it last week as he comes up, and the week before even against Keller, I think he had one, but he had several against Trey Hunter last week. And, that's one thing. I was wrong. I said Trey Hunter will be in there, but what do you suppose he's not in there? He hasn't mustered a carry, and Jaquan Douglas, 9 carries for 5 yards. I would hedge my bets with Trey Hunter if I was Joey McCullough. I don't.
Yeah, that's shocking to me that he hasn't had the ball one time in the entire contest. I mean, of course, their starting running back was out last week. He couldn't play last week, and that's what gave Trey the opportunity to get in there. But I feel like when given that opportunity, he earned the opportunity to at least be a third down back or get a few carries here or there, especially when Douglas isn't having too much success with those 9 carries for 5 yards. And so it'll be interesting to see if he gets any touches in the second half and if he continues to play with the varsity team for the rest of this year or if he ends up going back to JV. And so it'll just be an interesting process to watch that Plano East backfield.
Yeah, and that's something that I probably don't take into consideration as much as I should, that some of the JV teams, they don't want to unsettle their stability and their growth and progress, and they may just want him back for that. Because Plano East does have a good amount of 2-deep talent out there across the board. So even if Jaquan Douglas, let's say, or his normal backup, aren't performing as well as we saw Trey Hunter perform, they may still want to let him grow and get more experience down there at that level before getting him up there full time, and then let these other guys work out what they've earned. And they may be upperclassmen, and they may be letting them get their shots in, and then they might pull him up later in the season if the JV season ends.
Yeah, and certainly for a freshman, freshmen come up to varsity is huge. You do not see that very often, especially in 6A football here in Texas. And so to see him perform the way he did on the 6A level last week was just an incredible sight. But at the same time, it makes sense that you would want a freshman to develop a little bit on JV physically before you bring him up to the varsity level on a permanent basis.
Well, last week, after McKinney Boyd's game with Allen, they had been giving up 157 yards rushing per game prior to the Allen game, and then their stats got woefully skewed after that game. They were giving up an average of 210 on the ground with the extra game, and then their passing defense went from 192.5 a game to 205.7 a game. So again, Kyler Murray and the Allen Eagles kind of skewed their overall numbers, and their scoring defense went from 21 to 33 per game with that. But tell you what, this defense has been really, really solid tonight, and they are really, really fast. That's posed a bit of a problem for the Jaguar offensive line and Logan Davis and the rest of the skill position players.
Yeah, they've been able to get a lot of pressure back on Logan Davis. Logan Davis has toted the ball quite a few times. Flower Mound actually only has one traditional handoff in the entire first half. Chris Boban came in and had one handoff. The rest of the time it's either been Logan Davis running or Logan Davis attempting a pass, and nearly every time he's attempted a pass, he's ended up running, trying to get away from those fast defenders on the McKinney Boyd defense.
We'll take a quick break and come back here with a second half kickoff. You're listening to Flower Mound Jaguar football on ChampionSportsRadio.com.
Game day, leave the grilling to the amateurs and score the matchup of the century. Raising Cane's tailgates with jugs of lemonade and sweet tea. Cane's Tailgates get your appetite in the game with hot, fresh, never-ever-frozen chicken fingers and totally dippable cane sauce. They're fresh as a rookie, seasoned like a pro, and an automatic first down at any tailgate party. So when it's time for the big game, pick up some tailgates and jugs of lemonade and sweet tea. Now that's what I call a huddle. Raising Cane's, one love.
Getting set for the second half kickoff as Andrew Smith has it teed up for the McKinney Boyd Broncos, and back to receive for the Flower Mound Jaguars. Standing back at their own 10 will be both Nick Ryan and Clayton Johnson. Up front, Freddie Jackson, as well as Andrew Bullard. As this kick goes into the end zone, fielded by Nick Ryan. Andrew Bullard and Andrew White across the front on the special teams kick return unit. As the Jaguars will start off 1st and 10 at their own 25, trailing by a bundle in this one, 37-0 in the third quarter.
And we'll see if this Flower Mound offense can get the ball moving here early. We talked about it earlier. We saw them have that one great possession, and the one thing I took away from the possession where they did move the football is that they worked the middle of the field. They hit a few receivers open over the middle of the field, and then they hit Colton Wilson for that big gain before he ended up losing the ball on a fumble. So we'll see if they maybe try to work the middle instead of the sidelines like they've been attempting the last few possessions.
Aaron Epping and Freddie Jackson starting as receivers as Logan Davis takes the shotgun snap, tries to reverse field from his left to his right, comes near side to the 24-yard line, and is upended as he gets to the 25-yard line by Boone Tate, the linebacker. Actually, the 26-yard line, I beg your pardon. For a gain of about 1, it'll be 2nd and 9. Davis and the offense quickly up to the line again in the shotgun. Ryan Daly in the hound position. And Davis under pressure again as a safety blitz from Ross Matizik came in. Linebacker, actually. And Matizik, who runs 6'1", 215, raced in there almost untouched for the sack. A loss of about 6 on that play.
And that's what we were just talking about before we came back to the action, was the speed of this McKinney-Boyd defense. And they showed it right there coming from the linebacker/defensive end position, getting in there quick on Logan Davis.
2 down linemen and 1 standing up on the end as Davis in the shotgun fires it downfield, intercepted at the 49-yard line, coming back across the 50 to the 40, running diagonally to the 30-20 is Boone Tate, the safety back there, and Tate takes the return back about 30 yards. The 190 senior strong safety returns the interception some 29 yards to the 21-yard line in Jaguar territory. So a good strong throw by Logan Davis, but unfortunately there were about 2 or 3 Broncos back there camped out on, and there's a flag down about where that interception was made. So I don't know if this would be an illegal block on the return or a pass interference penalty.
It looks like there's a few flags down by where he was tackled as well. Some more unsportsmanlike conduct penalties being called against the Broncos.
Well, head referee Tim Hayashi has signaled a personal foul on McKinney Boyd, and then another unsportsmanlike conduct on McKinney Boyd. And I tell you what, Don Drake and Brian Murphy and J.W. Pate, the coordinators, are going to probably have some guys running sprints next week, I would think.
That is 8 personal fouls and or unsportsmanlike penalties, and that's going to take them. They had the interception. They returned it deep into Flower Mound territory. It's going to take that interception and push it clear back and just completely reverse the field for the Broncos.
Now, so far tonight, it hasn't seemed to really impede them a whole lot, these penalties. But hopefully Flower Mound can build off this particular tandem set of penalties. And boy, is this ever costly. This is going to, after these set of walk-offs, this is going to cost the Broncos some 62 yards of field position, what they would have had after the return versus what they have now. This is marked back all the way to the 16-yard line. So rather than have it at the 21-in-plus territory near the Jaguar red zone, they are back inside their own 20 at the 16-yard line. And Flower Mound with 5 linemen up front now, camped up, but Dedrick Scrivens takes the handoff over right tackle and races across the 20 to the 26-yard line and gets the yardage needed for the first down on that carry. The first play from scrimmage, he gets just enough. So McKinney Boyd not showing any ill effects of heavy penalty yardage there. Coaches can't be happy, I'm sure, but Scrivens takes his handoff, and he is bear hugged by maybe Aaron Notches, I believe, grabbing him from behind there, and Matthew Johnston taking that Scrivens after about a 3-yard gain. So really good defense that time by the front 7 of Flower Mound. Shotgun formation to Restmeyer. He gives to Scrivens. Scrivens kind of high-stepping it out of a pile across the 30 to the 35, across the 40, and all the way to the 46-yard line. Maybe even the 47 goes Dedrick Scrivens. A big gain of 18 on that play.
And it seemed like Flower Mound was going to have him bottled up right there at the line of scrimmage. But like you said, he's high-step. That was some nice high knees there by Scrivens, and then he escaped and squirmed and gained 19 yards.
Brandon Bowling, the D-back this time, takes the handoff, coming around the near side to the 48, to the 50, across the 50 into Jaguar territory at the 48-yard line. A pickup of 3, maybe 4 even for him. They call it a 4-yard gain. It will be 2nd and 6.
And that was a good job by the entire right side of the Jaguar defense, stringing Bowling out towards the sideline, including Chris Irvin there at corner. Didn't let the receiver block him, pushed him out, forced Bowling towards the sideline, and held him to a short gain.
9 minutes to play in the third as Scrivens takes the handoff, hurdles over a tackler in the interior of the line across the 40 to the 35, inside the 35 to the 34-yard line he goes. Tackle being made over there by Aaron Notches and Robert Darnell, but not before Scrivens can step off about a 9-yard gain there for a first down, maybe a 10-yard gain, all the way to the 34-yard line. And this is the third first down for the Broncos on this series. Movement in the line, and a flag does fly. Deep out pattern, complete to Cassidy Jacobs, up around the 30. Tackle applied immediately by Chris Irvin. Good defense there by Irvin, the senior, coming up to make the quick tackle on Jacobs, but it may be a free walk-off for the Broncos if they want to take the penalty, because one of the players on the left side of the line jumped, and that will be offsides. I think they're going to take this penalty. If they get the down over, it'll be 1st and 5. And that's about almost what the pass was.
Mm-hmm.
So Broncos on the move here, and they give to, that's Scrivens taking that handoff. Stopped in the backfield by Austin McKee, and Chandler Clatterbaugh coming way up from his safety position to help support the run defense there. And, Coach Johnson said in his pregame interview, you got to be able to stop the run if you're going to succeed and win a championship. And that takes Clatterbaugh coming up to help the front 7. Restmeyer in the shotgun, scans the field, goes deep down the sideline, incomplete. And I tell you, what an effort made by the receiver there on the go pattern, Stephen Driscoll, as he got a couple of fingers on that. Looked like it was going to be way overthrown there down the sideline, but he almost caught up to that and made a great effort to try to pull it in with one hand.
And Restmeyer really showed off his arm there, dropping back through the air. That was about a 40-yard throw, and like you said, it was just out of the reach of Driscoll, but you have to love the arm strength back there from Restmeyer.
Wow, that kid is really talented. He is in the shotgun, 3rd and 7. Restmeyer, quick drop, throws, caught by Scrivens in the hash at the 27, going to the 20, 15, 10, 5 goes Dedrick Scrivens for a touchdown, and that is his first of the year receiving.
And it's his 5th on the night.
5th of the night, yeah.
And that was a 31-yard pass, and Scrivens there lined up in the left slot, and he was just uncovered from the start of the play. He was by himself and then made a nice cut and got into the end zone.
Well, and it's tough when you're keying on guys that are running and running that you suddenly give up the pass to them. As Andrew Smith's extra point is up and good. Our new score is McKinney Boyd 44, Flower Mound 0 with 7:46 to play. We'll take a break and come back in a moment with more Jaguar football on Champion Sports Radio.
All the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/CSSRadio. Facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and Facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship social media.
Our new score, McKinney Boyd 44, Flower Mound nothing. Flower Mound having a really tough time tonight, and largely due to one particular player, Dedrick Scrivens, who's got 5 touchdowns on the night. He came into the year having 5 touchdowns on the season, running, none receiving. He's got 1 receiving tonight and 4 on the ground, and that kid is having a heck of a night, as is Brandon Bowling. And those two, if they could get taken out of the game for a little while, that would really help Flower Mound's cause. I mean, you see a 2-man show do damage to a team, and in this case, it's really those two. As Andrew Smith boots this one deep and long down the middle to the end zone, fielded by Nick Ryan. He's going to take a knee there for the automatic touchback. Flower Mound will start at their own 25 now with 1st and 10 with a huge deficit. The biggest deficit Flower Mound had faced this year was last week when they were down by 10, 27-17, and they had narrowed that gap to 3. And we thought we might have a tight one tonight, but McKinney Boyd has broken this one open, and it's just been tough sledding for the Jaguars to really consistently get anything going offensively.
Yeah, it's been a tough night offensively. We'll see if they can get something going here on their second possession of the second half.
Quick toss on a screen pass. Nice catch made at the 23, coming out to the 25-30s. Quentin Morris, his first grab of the night. That one good for a gain of 5 yards. Nice one-handed grab made by Morris on the slot. And maybe that's what it takes, is kind of these quick tosses, these hitch patterns, to get the field open up a little bit more. Grayson Hoagland into the game as the hound now for the Jaguars. Quick drop by Davis. Throws over the middle. Nice catch made by Thomas Jeffries up at the 40 on a deep slant pattern. And Jeffries moves the sticks to the 42-yard line. A great catch by him. He's a starter as a senior on here, but he doesn't seem to have a lot of passes thrown his way, but a nice catching run made that time and a first down. Davis in the shotgun. Pump fakes. Going downfield long. Got a man wide open. It's Jeffries again. Oh, incomplete. Just over his outstretched hands up around the 22-yard line. He had his man beat too, Taylor, if he was able to just catch up with that.
Yeah, that's tough for Jeffries and for Davis. Jeffries did a little bit of a double move there. Got past the cornerback Jenkins and then past the safety Tate back there, and then he was open. He just couldn't bring it in. Little too far.
Another quick hitch, but that one thrown high. He had a guy pressuring in. Ross Matizik was bearing down from the linebacker blitz and got a hand up in the air. They kind of flashed in front of the intended receiver over there, Devin Coleman.
And that last play, that double move we were just talking about, that's just such a tough break for Flower Mound, and it's been that kind of night. I mean, they have an open receiver just a little bit too far for the receiver, and they had a chance for a big play and just barely missed out on it.
Davis under pressure, throws. Oh, nice toss to the safety valve. Jeffries at the 45, running to the sideline at the 45 and inside the 45 to the 36. So he has found something recently with Thomas Jeffries. He is really making his presence felt on this drive. Great effort by the 6'4", 185-pound senior, Thomas Jeffries.
And that was a great throw by Logan Davis. He was under extreme duress back there in the backfield, and he just lofted it over a few defenders to a wide-open Thomas Jeffries. Great job by Davis.
Davis, quarterback draw, has the 35, racing to the far side to the 30, and angling for the sideline to the 25-yard line before 3 or 4 Broncos can pull him down over there on the far side of the field. And the Broncos have a lot of good closing speed over there on defense. Over there to make that tackle was Jacob Cantrell.
And that was Grayson Hoagland, number 39, the hound back, who went up the middle and got a hat on one of the linebackers that really sprung Logan Davis for that big gain in the first down. And that's our longest running play of the night for the Flower Mound Jaguars.
Parker Norin, the corner on the tackle there. Not Cantrell. Davis, quick toss, left side, caught by Clayton Johnson on the sideline at the 28, going down the sideline to the 25, inside the 25, all the way to the 20 is where they're going to mark him out. Nice little quick hitch pattern and run by Clayton Johnson, racing up the sidelines there with a lot of speed. They're actually going to call it a 6-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 4. 6:07 to play in the third quarter. Jags on the move, trying to get on the board here. Man goes in motion. Clayton Johnson from left to right. Logan Davis in the shotgun. Quick drop, under pressure. Now rolling out, looking, throwing for the end zone, and it is incomplete, out of bounds. A good grab made, but out of bounds there by the intended receiver. I think that may have been Quentin Morris out there in the corner of the end zone. Or was that Jeffries again?
It looked like that was Jeffries again. He's been the main target all of a sudden. Hadn't looked his way the entire evening, and now he's the main target. And even on that play, Logan Davis really showed a lot of faith in him as he was out there in a one-on-one situation with Armani Jenkins. And Davis just threw it up and gave him a shot at it, and unfortunately it came down out of bounds. But that shows a lot of faith in your wide receiver.
3rd and 4. Logan Davis in the shotgun. Play clock at 5. He's going to tuck it under, looking for running room to the 20. Angling to the sideline to the 17. Did he get the line to gain? He's pretty close, depending on this spot. They're going to give him the first down. Not even going to measure it. Head referee Tim Ayashi signals first down. Well, he signaled it, but they didn't move the chains yet. There's some kind of disconnect between the chain gang and it should not be 4th and 4. I'm not sure. I thought he signaled first down. Yeah, now they're moving it. Okay. Davis in the shotgun, fires near far side to the 10. Catch made over there on the far side of the field by Freddie Jackson. Makes one move, and then a tackler drags him down inside the 10 at the 9. So 1st and goal for Flower Mound here. On the move. They got Grayson Hoagland in the game as a flex end. Brendan Alves and Thomas Jeffrey split to the right. He'd love for one of those guys to get a touchdown here. Clayton Johnson and Freddie Jackson split wide to the left. Logan Davis in the shotgun. It is 2nd and 3. They can get another first down. Heavy pressure. He throws for the end zone. No one there. Had to throw it away. He was under a lot of pressure from the linebackers, blitzing in again.
And Flower Mound, the offense has really shown the last few plays what they can do when they get in a rhythm. I mean, on this drive alone, they've had 3 first downs. They had 3 first downs in the entire first half. So, and this is still the first-team defense out here for the McKinney-Boyd defense. And so Flower Mound is showing they can move the ball against this team once they get in a rhythm. And so this has been an impressive drive to watch for the Jaguars.
Davis in the shotgun. Deep slant pattern, and it goes incomplete, and it looked like the intended target may have been getting grabbed over there a little bit, Freddie Jackson, but kind of interesting that being the case because we've seen so many penalties, and we didn't know what we were seeing necessarily that was getting called, but that one we thought we did see, and it didn't get called. So it is 4th and 3. Jaguars need the 6-yard line to move the sticks. They'd love to get on the board quickly, though. Davis in the shotgun. Ball on the left hash. Davis rolling out left, right. Throwing for the end zone, incomplete. Not able to quite catch up to it was Brendan Alves, who was running a deep drag pattern across the end zone to the back corner. And so they were trying to get on the board quickly. They could have gotten a little bit less, settled for less, and gotten the first down. But sometimes when you're going quick, you don't want to disrupt too much rhythm. That's probably the way they were thinking there.
Yeah, and like I was just saying earlier, I mean, they didn't get the points on the board, but that's got to give the offense some confidence. That's got to make Coach Johnson and then his offensive coaches feel good because that is the first sustained drive they've had tonight.
And we have a new signal caller into the game for McKinney-Boyd, that being Seth Washington, and another back in the backfield, Kyle Brim, for McKinney-Boyd now. Actually, check that, not Kyle Brim, but Caden Markham the 160-pound sophomore. And Washington under some pressure, rolling out left, throws, caught up around the 27-yard line by Steven Driscoll. That's enough for a first down. They needed 6, and he got about 11 on that pass play. So that will make it 1st and 10 now after the conversion. Driscoll, a nice catch going to the ground there to scoop that one up. Seth Washington, no real numbers on him on the year. They've been in some tussle, so he probably hadn't gotten a lot of playing time. And Caden Markham is going to be pulled down from behind. And the first guy to get over there and get hands on him was Grayson Hoagland. And Hoagland, the senior linebacker. As wholesale changes come out here now for Flower Mound. Into the game for the Jaguars. Hayden Brewer, good to see him back in there after he turned his ankle a little bit. But into the game for the Jaguars are both Colin Alford, the senior defensive lineman, and Ross Wheeler, another senior defensive lineman. Seth Washington trying to get his signals uncrossed with his team. They are going to take a timeout. 3:16 to play here in the third quarter. We'll take a break and come back in a moment with more Jaguar football on Champion Sports Radio.
Rapid Med Urgent Care Center in Highland Village provides Southern Denton County families with state-of-the-art emergency medical care right in your neighborhood. From checkups to broken bones, school vaccinations, sports physicals, and more, you can count on Rapid Med for all of your medical needs. Rapid Med is proud to provide the latest in concussion management through the IMPACT program in partnership with the Texas Health Sports Network. Rapid Med Urgent Care Center is dedicated to providing you with quality care quickly. Visit rapidmed.com.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com.
3:16 to play here in the third quarter, and Seth Washington under trouble, under pressure, and he's going to tuck it under and run, and he's going to run across the 28 to the 30. Tackle going to be made there by Ryan Daly, the linebacker, and Ian Lawrence also in on the stop. We mentioned some new names for you in a minute. Across that front four, though, still Matthew Johnson and Hayden Brewer. Seth Washington in the shotgun. Caden Markham is tailback, and Washington. Three-step drop, looks downfield, left, throws, incomplete. Intended for Steven Driscoll, and Freddie Jackson was flashing in front of him to disrupt that pass and break it up. So it goes incomplete and brings up 4th and 8. So I tell you what, we said it. Taylor, you know, if you could remove Dedrick Scrivens and Brandon Bowling from the equation, well, and they gave Restmeyer a break too, but you know, I'd be interested to see what Restmeyer did without those two guys, what he could do without those two guys. You know?
Right, and I don't doubt that he could do a lot. When you got playmakers like that, you put it in their hands and they get it done.
The snap was bobbled, but the punt was cleared anyway. Not much of a rush there to the punter, Andrew Smith. No return as it bounces across the 45 to the 40, and inside the 40, kind of took a little bit of a Jaguar bounce after that, but falls dead at the 35. That is where the Jaguars will take over. Trailing very big in this one, 44-0 in the third quarter, 2:31 to play. Remind you, next week the Jaguars will try to get back on track and rebound against Plano, but still trying to get it going here. And even though the offense went pretty good ways that last drive and got all the way to the 6-yard line, or the 9-yard line rather, Hayden Hauser is taking over the controls here on this possession. And on 1st and 10 in the shotgun, he rolls out right, throws near side, caught there by Quentin Morris, who's had a couple of catches tonight. A good one made there on the near sideline up around the 39-yard line for a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
And that was a nice throw there by Hayden Hauser, and I think that's a good play call to kind of get him warmed up into the offense. He played that one series earlier, was a little bit amped up, as we said, and overthrew a receiver. So starting off with a nice little 3-yard out pattern there to Quentin Morris is a good way to enter a new quarterback into the game with an easy completion.
Odd spot there. They spot him down out at the 37. So a gain of 2. Hayden Hauser takes the quick snap, racing to his left. He kind of bounced into a blocker there for a minute that impeded his progress and really took him off his track as he was had a good head of steam going there, and he only ends up getting a couple of yards as the defender catches up and pulls him down.
Yeah, it looked like he had quite a hole there, and then it was the I think it was the pulling guard or the guard on that side, Dane Marwood, and he just ran right into his back and bounced backwards, and that allowed those Boyd defenders to snag him from behind. He did still gain a couple yards, but I think it could have been a bigger play had he been able to avoid his own offensive line.
And that's just a lack of experience on Hauser's part, as he's not used to the pulling guard. As on 3rd and 6, he runs against the grain and throws downfield, and it is complete. And that one is complete to Aaron Epping. A nice catch by Aaron Epping made over there on the far side of the field, a gain of 9, giving the Jaguars a first down all the way to the 49-yard line.
Now, that was a great play right there by Hauser. I mean, they had Noah Prater for Boyd, just came flying in there really quick. Hauser avoided the rush and then delivered a strike on the outside for the first down.
Hauser tucks it under, quarterback draw across the 50 into Boyd Bronco territory at the 48-yard line is where he's dropped after a gain of about 3.5. Call it 2nd and 7. But, yeah, Hayden Hauser, as he gets more reps and snaps with these guys, he'll get used to a pulling guard. But the pulling guard doesn't have eyes in the back of his head.
No,
he can't see the
not.
quarterback, where he's running. They just have to have that comfort and rapport with each other.
But Hayden Hauser, he's moving this offense well now that he's getting a little bit comfortable in here, and he's looking good on this possession.
Quick toss, hitch pattern, far side of the field, caught at the 50, but Boyd Broncos, a number of them, are there to wrap up the receiver on the far side of the field very quickly, including Ross Matizik. And tell you, Matizik is a guy that might be getting looks too from teams.
Yeah, he's certainly got size, 6'1", 215 listed, and he may be even bigger than that. So he's got some speed too, as we've seen throughout the night. This Boyd defense has a lot of speed, and so with that size and that quickness and that speed, he is sure to get a lot of looks, as are many of the players in District 6A. It is a district where I'm sure a lot of recruiters are going to spend some time.
Yeah, indeed. That pass went to Devin Coleman, on that play. Actually ruled no gain on that. Jaguars are just going to let this run down to the end of the quarter. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. With our score, McKinney Boyd 44, Flower Mound nothing. We'll come back and bring in the 4th quarter of play here in just a moment with Flower Mound Jaguar football on Champion Sports Radio.
What are you doing, Hazel?
Looking for a power drink for some energy boost for my marketing. I'm dragging.
You know, I saw your marketing tools, your website, brochures. Remember, there's no energy drink or blue pill for business growth. You need a good marketing boost. Call Jeff at mbstoday.com. They will get you straightened out.
Go online at mbstoday.com or call toll-free 1-855-224-2537, extension 103.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management. The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Set to start the 4th quarter of play here. Flower Mound on the move. Hayden Hauser in the shotgun. 3-step drop. Looking downfield. Throws near side. Caught by Aaron Epping. Great catch made as he climbs the ladder at the 41-yard line in Boyd Bronco territory to get the first down right at the line to gain. Perfect throw by Hauser. Great catch made by Aaron Epping. And he's coming off there a little bit slowly. He was jolted right as he made that catch. Paid the price for it, but gives the Jaguars a first down.
Yeah, that was a strike there by Hauser. And again, he continues to impress here on this possession, only his second of the night, but it feels like he's getting some confidence. He's hitting his wide receivers, and he's leading a productive drive thus far.
Ryan Daly, the Hound, goes in motion. 3 down linemen for Boyd. Hayden Hauser tucks it under and run. Has some room. Across the 40 to the 35, running near side, over the left side of the line, as some new faces into the game now for Flower Mound. Across the front, Chris White, the junior tackle, Ty Neighbors. And also in there for Flower Mound, Matthew Johnston playing on the line. I think I saw that correctly. Yeah. He's a right guard. He's guard on the right side. And Chris White, a tackle on the right side. Hayden Hauser has pressure this time as linebackers converge on him quickly as he tucks it under for the quarterback keeper. Both Noah Prater, the 6'1", 230-pound end, and Ross Maduzik, the 6'1", 215-pound linebacker, converge on him. Boy, that's a big outside linebacker, isn't it? A 215-pound. No.
And like we said just a second, 215 pounds with speed.
Yeah.
Him and Prater seemed like they were in the backfield on that play as the ball was snapped. They've been doing that all night. They have incredible ability.
3rd and 3. Hauser in the shotgun, looking to throw long. Got a man, Freddie Jackson. Caught! Touchdown, Freddie Jackson. Flower Mound on the board. Terrific throw by Hayden Hauser. Terrific catch by Freddie Jackson, who actually was guarded pretty well. It was actually pretty good defensive coverage.
What a throw. What a throw by Hauser. He put that the only place he could over the outside shoulder of Freddie Jackson. And Freddie Jackson, like you said, he's almost hand-to-hand combat there with the cornerback, and he brings it in from Hauser to get Flower Mound on the board. What a great play by the Jaguars.
Richard Kelly, the junior place kicker, to try the extra point. This one's low and blocked and scooped up by McKinney Boyd. And probably going to take it the distance is McKinney Boyd's Parker Norin. The snap was a little bit low, and so they couldn't get the snap placed well, and Richard Kelly's kick went kind of right into the line, and it was scooped up by Parker Norin, and Norin returns it the distance for a 2-point conversion the other way.
There is another penalty on the play, though, so we'll see if this counts or if it'll be against McKinney Boyd.
It's against McKinney. Well, is he? He signaled against McKinney Boyd, and he waved like it was declined, or does that? I'm not sure. I got all of his signals sent in. Well, they took the 2 off the board because it showed 46 for a minute, I believe. So we will keep it here before Flower Mound kicks off. We want to say thank you to Steve Swanson at Whirly Ball for sponsoring this broadcast. Corporate events, team building, and private parties are more fun when you're zipping around in a Whirly Bug. And they have the most affordable laser tag in town. 2 locations to serve you, Plano and Hearst. Hey, leagues are starting up now, so visit them online at whirlyball.info for more information. Also like to thank In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company providing a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services, including filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event with In Command Broadcasting. 10-14 to play. Flower Mound gets on the board, and that 2-point conversion run back the other way gets nullified by whatever means. Pooch kick here coming from Josh Grant, bobbled out of bounds by the return man, Ron DeBoo, but nonetheless, they will keep possession. Josh Grant's kick goes there. That's a good kick by Josh Grant to pooch it that way and have a defender touch it so you don't get penalized for the ball going out of bounds.
Yeah, that was well done by Josh Grant. And just going back to that last series, that was a great show there by the sophomore quarterback, Hayden Hauser. And that was a great throw to Freddie Jackson, and Freddie Jackson bringing that in. that was we see what Flower Mound's offense can do. That was an 11-play drive. They really put it together. They moved down the field slowly, then scored with a big play. This is an offense that can move the ball. They've just struggled tonight, and it's good to see them do what they can do there on that last possession.
And McKinney Boyd inserts yet another new quarterback into the game, and this one that has not seen action to my knowledge, Cannell Woods, the 5'11", 185-pound junior, as he is into the game for the first time. And they look like they want to practice some throwing as they've gone with 4 wideouts. Either that or he's going to tuck it under and do quarterback keepers, which that is the case. On first down, big hole up the middle across the 20, 25 up to the 29-yard line goes Cannell Woods after a 5-yard illegal procedure penalty signaled right before that, which moved it back 5 to the 20 from the 25. Cannell Woods gets 9 of it back. 2nd and 6 in the shotgun, 1-back set. They give to Marcade. What a stiff arm there by Caden Markham, rather, the 160-pound sophomore who runs with a lot more ferocity than that. He was running down the sideline and kind of dishing out forearms.
Yeah, Caden Markham.
It's like a defender.
He was looking for contact on that play. I mean, he wanted to hit somebody. He didn't want to go out of bounds, and he didn't want to avoid contact. So he's excited to be in the game tonight.
Well, McKinney Boyd with a similar hound position to that of Flower Mound. And that man goes in motion as the quick toss comes to Caden Markham up at the 48, coming to the 50, 45, 40 down the numbers alley to the 30-yard line, and he is brought down by Freddie Jackson and Grayson Hoagland. But Caden Markham trying to make his mark on the field and on opponents here. But there is a hold signaled against McKinney Boyd. Just a guess, but it's got to be double-digit penalties tonight for McKinney Boyd.
Yes, it certainly is. They had 6 penalties in the first half. And so now, here with the second half, we've seen quite a few penalties. That's got to be up. That is up to 10 penalties for them tonight with that. Wow. And so it is into the double digits, especially when you consider how many of these have been 15-yard penalties.
Yeah, and how many have actually cost them sometimes making a direct score. As Cannell Woods takes the direct snap and races through the line across the 50 to the 46-yard line, met there by Grayson Hoagland and Duke Carrillo. But he gets a gain of about 4, maybe 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 coming for the Broncos. Clock under 8.5 to play now in our contest, with Flower Mound trailing 44-6. Movement in the line, and they do whistle it. It looked like the hound or the flex end or whatever you want to call him, Brant Stockford, the 185-pound senior, started stumbling in his tracks a little bit and couldn't catch himself.
And so with that, we were just talking about the penalties. That is 11, and it's for a total of 116 yards. And that doesn't include, when you think about the one series of penalties, when they should have taken the ball over on the Flower Mound 21 and they ended up on their own 16. I mean, that's a 60-yard change in field position that doesn't get accounted for in the box score.
Cannell Woods in the shotgun. Pressure, but the pocket collapses. He tucks it under and races forward across the 45 to the 40 in Jaguar territory. Gives the Broncos a first down. Cannell Woods, the third teamer on here, and no one on that team, Taylor, seems to lack for speed.
Oh, my goodness. He's hitting these holes with acceleration and with speed, and something over there at McKinney Boyd, they got a lot of fast football players over there.
Players jump, but were they drawn off? The flag now flies. 2 Flower Mound Jaguars jumped, and they were pointing across the line at McKinney Boyd. Based on the number of flags we've seen here tonight, you would think it would go against McKinney Boyd. It is a legal procedure, but, you're also at the point where some backups that don't get much game are getting some time out there. In William Ellenberg, Patrick Quintana, and Carlos Alvarez, and maybe they don't see as much action together, and their chemistry's not quite there yet. So they're kind of anxious and prone to move. And Cannell Woods gives to the first back through, Caden Markham. And this time, plenty of Jaguars are there to pile on and bring them down, including Duke Carrillo and also big Colin Alford in there on that stop. So great stop by Colin Alford, the senior defensive tackle. As the Jaguars, the good thing about them, their spirit isn't dead. They're still flying in. The guys that are getting time as backups, they're running in there hard, playing hard.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of group tackles, and that's what you want to see. A lot of effort plays. Nice work by the Jaguars.
Cannell Woods in the shotgun. Throws far side of the field, caught at the 30, making the grab over there on the far side of the field for the Broncos was Eric Wallace, 180-pound senior, and the tackle applied by Freddie Jackson, but not before a pickup of 16 is made and a first down for the Broncos. 3 receivers set to the right. 1 receiver to the wide side, to the far side. And Cannell Woods fakes and keeps the ball on a quarterback sneak to the left side. A quick run there of about 6 to the left side of the line for Cannell Woods. He may be related to Cassidy Woods. There may be brothers out there. Cannell Woods pump fakes, and now he's going to tuck it under and try to run, but a couple of Jaguars, including Ryan Daly, are there waiting for him, and Colton Pennington. And also in on that tackle for the Jaguars was Ross Wheeler, senior defensive lineman.
And that was a good job by outside linebacker Colton Pennington, as Woods was looking for his receiver out there in the flat, and Pennington cut right in front of him as he got to his responsibilities in the flat and prevented Woods from completing that pass.
Caden Markham gets the handoff here across the line, and Colton Pennington and Ian Lawrence drag him down after a gain of about 3 or 4.
This Caden Markham, we said it earlier, he is just seeking out contact. I mean, he just wants to run through people. I think must be his favorite part of the game right there, get the ball and try to run people over, because he's seeking people out every time he touches the football.
And Matthew Johnston into the game, senior defensive end. And for Duke Carrillo as Cannell Woods looks one way, now looks the other, now tucks it under, running to the far side, to the 15, to the 10, to the sideline, to the 8, to the 2, to the 1 goes Cannell Woods, and he is popped over there on that far side of the field by Chris Irvin. And Freddie Jackson over there to help push him out of bounds too, but not before he can get to the 1 and has a 2nd and goal.
And here it would be huge for the Jaguars if they could manage a goal line stop. Here we got some of their backup defenders in. That would be big for them.
Pistol formation they give to Caden Markham, and Markham is swallowed up by a couple of Jaguars. Like you said, Freddie Jackson and Ryan Daly stepping up to make the stop on Caden Markham, the 160-pound sophomore. And Markham didn't look quite as aggressive on that run as he had before, but he was bottled up pretty quickly too.
And that's a good start to a potential goal line stand, forcing him back like that. This could be a real confidence boost for Coach Johnson's squad if they could hold them out of the end zone here.
Yeah, loss of 4 on that play, and a flag flies here before the play gets underway, and we might have another procedure penalty against Boyd. We do, and I'm sure Don Drake is at his wit's end despite having a big lead. He's probably just shaking his head.
Yeah, these penalties are coming more and more often as the game goes on, and there are some new guys in there, some guys that maybe haven't played on Friday nights too much this year, but it's still got to drive the head coach a little crazy with, I think that's the 12th or 13th penalty now on his Broncos.
Nonetheless, the Jaguars might be able to make a great defensive stand here. It is 2nd and goal at the 10. Cannell Woods pump fakes going for the end zone. Got a man. It is broken up nicely. Chris Irvin in the far corner of the end zone making the pass break up over there, and it brings up 3rd and 10. A couple of other scores to pass along to you here in area play. South Grand Prairie putting it to Abilene Cooper, 42-19 in the 4th. Frisco Centennial ahead of Frisco Heritage, 31-21 in the 4th. Mansfield Summit out in front of Red Oak Big, 45-14 in the 4th. 3rd and goal from the 10. Cannell Woods in the shotgun. 3 receivers set right. Pump fakes right. Looks, tucks it under. Has some running room to the 10, to the 5, to the 2. Does he get in? He is stopped short of the goal at about the half-yard line. I think the Jaguar that grabbed him to stop him short may have been either Colton Pennington or Ian Lawrence. Colton Pennington definitely in on that tackle. So it is 4th and goal from about the half-yard line. We'll see if the Jaguars can bow up here and stop them. Pistol formation as they give to Caden Markham, and he is stopped short of the line. Great defensive stand made by the Jaguars. No small task stopping Caden Markham.
And I think that's just great for this Flower Mound team. There's 3 minutes left in the game. They'll get a chance to get back on offense, but that is huge for their defense and for their defensive confidence heading forward. There are a lot of players that get regular playing time are still in there for the Jaguars, and so being able to get a stop against this Boyd team, which they've struggled to do throughout the night, stoning them 4 straight plays inside the 5-yard line, that's a great confidence builder here late in this game.
You can kind of see now how this team was able to beat Capel. I mean, they are not under-talented at all.
A lot of speed, a lot of size.
Hayden Hauser back in as the quarterback and Chris Boban as the running back. And now in as a wingback, flex and hound for the Jaguars is Levi Schoen, the senior running back. He'll play that wingback hound position. And we've also got another guy coming in now, Jack Sikora, junior wide receiver. Good to see these guys that don't get a lot of playing time get to come in and get some playing time here. And also across the line, Troy Platt, junior offensive lineman, as they take a timeout. And we'll keep it here on that note. 2:58 to play here in the game, with Flower Mound trailing big tonight. 44-6. They've been in some tight tussles along the way, but unfortunately for the Jaguars, this one got away early. They were down 37-0 at half. You got to take a little bit of solace in that, Taylor, that you battled pretty well in the second half, 7-6 on the board, and could have been 9-6, but 2 of those points were erased on the blocked extra point return. Hayden Hauser in the shotgun, under pressure in the end zone, and he may be sacked for a safety. And he was. And back there making the sack for the safety, I believe it was big number 60 for the Broncos of McKinney Boyd, Bradley Hume. Austin Bewley was also in there, the 185-pound sophomore. So, yeah, size aplenty throughout this lineup. We'll take a break and come back in a moment. You're listening to Flower Mound Jaguar football on Champion Sports Radio.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Well, Flower Mound will now punt. Well, I was about to say they're going to punt from their 20, but I think McKinney Boyd got yet another 15-yard penalty to allow Flower Mound to kick from their 35.
This has been a rough night for the Broncos and 15-yard penalties. This is the most we've seen all season in the 15-yard variety, certainly.
Yeah, that's probably about the only area it's been rough for them is in the area of 15-yard penalties.
That's about it.
But, you know, coaches, they don't like that anyway. At any rate, they won't. They'll be very unhappy about that. As Josh Grant boots it on a pooch kick to the 33, fielded at that point on the right side of the field by Boyd's Ron DeBoo. the 5'10", 180-pound junior. So Flower Mound trailing with 2:52 to play in the game. And there was a flag on that play, too. And I would think that's probably offsides on Flower Mound. I don't know how it could be anything else. I didn't see head referee Tim Hayashi's indication there. But I think that was an offsides on Flower Mound, which would add 5 to the fair catch spot. Yeah, it is. The one that Ron DeBoo just made a few moments ago, the 33 is going to be moved to the 38. Boyd comes out with 3 wideouts to the left side, ball on the right hash. Wing on the right, Flower Mound with 4 down linemen. And Seth Washington back into the formation and game now as the signal caller. We saw him for one series a couple of possessions ago, and then he was spelled by Cannell Woods. And I tell you what, Taylor, if you had to go a game with Cannell Woods as your quarterback, I don't think you'd be in bad shape.
Yeah, especially if you wanted him. I mean, he had a few nice throws, but if you wanted him running the football, he had some great runs. He showed some great speed, some great agility, and I think if we saw him a little bit more, we'd be even more impressed.
Seth Washington on the quarterback keeper, looking for room around the edge or out to the left side across the 35 to the 40, and he's got a gain of about 7. Maybe I call it 6. They're going to spot him at the 40. And it's going to be 3rd and 8.
And Seth Washington, he also has a little bit of quickness to him as well. And it looks like they may have brought back in Cannell Woods for this 3rd down play.
Into the game now as the cornerback on the left side is William Bevel. And that pass by Seth Washington is complete up around the 49-yard line in Jaguar territory, and making the grab there for the Broncos was Eric Wallace, the 180-pound senior. But William Bevel, the senior defensive back, seeing action now.
And that was a nice throw by Seth Washington. That was a deep comeback route to the outside, not an easy throw for a quarterback to make. So Seth Washington really showed some good arm strength there here late in the game to complete that pass and give the Broncos a 1st down.
Andrew Bullard back there in the game as a defensive back, as is Jack Sikora, but this time Seth Washington just drops to a knee with 1:05 left. Flower Mound would like to say thanks to Steve and Barb Hill at Point of Origin Design, your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. And Seth Washington takes a knee on this shotgun snap. It will bring up 2nd and 18 after the procedure penalty the play before. This broadcast is also sponsored in part by ShockboxDFW.com. Visit ShockboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today as Seth Washington takes an knee, and the clock is now 13 and running. That'll be the last play, and the two teams showing great sportsmanship line up and shake hands. And Taylor, whoever was ejected for McKinney Boyd, it proved to be inconsequential because it wasn't Brandon Bowling and it wasn't Dedrick Scrivens.
And that's really what it came down to, is those two players. They touched the ball more than any other player on that McKinney Boyd team tonight, and they showed their explosiveness and their speed especially, and so they were able to combine for I think 6 touchdowns tonight to really lead the Broncos to victory 46-6 over the Jaguars.
Very underrated team, this McKinney Boyd team. When you take a look quickly at the big picture of district, and if you just said, okay, odds are Allen is the long favorite to win this district, probably go unbeaten, probably be the top seed in the district. Well, then next you'd probably look to McKinney Boyd first, I would think. Maybe Plano West, but probably McKinney Boyd.
Yeah, McKinney Boyd certainly impressed me tonight, and they're 1-2 coming into this game, same record as the Jaguars, but they had a tough early schedule, facing off with Mesquite Horn, who's a great football team there in the first game, then Coppell, and they were able to beat Coppell, which is no small feat, and then they faced off with the toughest team, arguably in the area, in the state even, in Allen, and so they started off 1-2, but that record did not show how good of a team they were. They're much better than their record showed.
Yeah, and Coach Don Drake said they had multiple identities. It wasn't like they didn't have one. So last week their identity became that of a passing team. They threw for about 280 yards. And a week before that, it was that of a running team. Dedrick Scrivens took over a game just running wild. He ran pretty wild here tonight too. But this team, I say, is a versatile team, a versatile, talented team that can get it done in many ways. And when you have a really good offense like they do, coupled with a speedy, tenacious defense that can put pressure on the skilled position players, not just on the quarterback passing, but on the running backs, getting the handoff or guys on quick hitch and out patterns, it can really help your team go far.
Certainly, and McKinney Boyd impressed me tonight, but the Jaguars can come away with some positives. They moved the ball there in the second half. They had that great defensive stand there down on the goal line. Unfortunately, it resulted in a safety once the offense took over, but the defensive stand, if you just take that piece away, take some of the pieces away that they showed on offense, I mean, if you look at the freshman Hayden Hauser, the sophomore Hayden Hauser, he came in at quarterback, moved the ball well, and I think there are some positives for sure that Coach Johnson can take away, including the fact that, like you mentioned near the end of the game, this team never stops playing hard.
Yeah.
They play hard the entire night. No matter who comes into the game, they rotate a lot of players. They come in, they play hard, they hit hard, and they have great effort. And as far as the second half goes, that's as much as Coach Johnson could ask for.
Well, our final tonight is McKinney Boyd 46, Flower Mound 6. We'll take a break and come back here in just a moment with the In Command Broadcasting post-game show. You're listening to Flower Mound Jaguar Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Hey, honey, why are you home so late?
Don't even get me started.
Did Sally come in late again today?
Sally comes in late every day. Pete can't stay off the internet, and Roger does everything but his job. It gets so frustrating. My employees can't be accountable for their own actions.
You need to contact Strategic Direct Solutions, LLC. My company has been using SDS for years, and they have totally upgraded several positions for us.
That sounds like a great idea and a great solution.
Make sure your company has the best employees.
That's right, in the best positions, so your organization can achieve success. Strategic Direct Solutions is a staffing solutions firm which has been supporting small to Fortune 500 companies across North America, providing great talent.
Visit us on the web at www.sdsllc.com or call us at 972-355-7500, extension 305.
Back at Neil Wilson Stadium, where our final score tonight was McKinney Boyd 46, Flower Mound 6. Some other scores to pass along to you here. From area play, Arlington Bowie ahead of Colleyville Heritage 42-28. Garland ahead of Naaman Forest. These are fourth quarter scores, by the way, 42-34. Robert E. Lee and Tyler has come back to take the lead over Saxe 55-42. Trinity Christian Addison big over Ferris tonight, 49-17. Melissa ahead of Commerce, 42-21. Parish Episcopal and Glen Rose in a big shootout tonight. Parish Episcopal with a 42-39 lead over Glen Rose. Decatur falling to Carrollton Ranchview tonight, 48-33. Bishop Lynch ahead of Salina, 33-21. Lake Dallas over Kimball big right now, 49-28 in the fourth. Fort Worth Arlington Heights, who usually is on the other end of some of these scores, is pounding Grapevine tonight, 60-14. Wilmer Hutchins ahead of Madison, the Hutch on top, 30-6. Waco Midway out in front of Duncanville, 42-29. Lancaster ahead of Mansfield Lake Ridge, only 21-18. In double overtime in 6-6A, Flower Mound, Marcus and Hebron are tied at 21. Cedar Hill putting it on Capel now. A shocking score, 47-27. Cedar Hill beating Capel. Yes, Cedar Hill's good, but to be beating Capel that badly is quite a surprise, Taylor. And I don't know if you saw the game on TV last night. I did not get to watch it yet, but recorded it. Lubbock Cooper and Stephenville had a big barn burner last night. I think Lubbock Cooper won that 43-39.
Wow.
It is down at Stephenville.
Yeah, that's quite the game. And the interesting thing here is we've seen a little bit of a comeback by Marcus. They were down 21-7 for the majority of that game, then come storming back near the end to tie it at 21. And then with Cedar Hill and Capel, that was a close game for the first half. I mean, it was the last time we read the score, I think it was a tie. I mean, it was a tight matchup, and then Cedar Hill in the third and fourth quarter just able to pull away from Capel, and Capel, a team we've mentioned a few times tonight since McKinney Boyd faced off with them a few weeks ago and won 28-21. But Capel, they have a strong team, and so to be ahead of them by 20 is very impressive by Cedar Hill.
Indeed it is. Any final numbers to go over between these teams tonight?
I do have some final stats for us, and the stats don't always tell the whole story, but they do, unfortunately for the Jaguars, tell a lot of the story tonight. The final tallies, the McKinney Boyd Broncos finished the game with 27 first downs, Flower Mound with 10. Rushing yardage, McKinney Boyd with being led there by Dedrick Scrivens and Brandon Bowling. 361 yards on the ground, another 217 through the air, and they threw a total of 22 passes. The only negative for McKinney Boyd tonight, we mentioned it throughout the evening as the penalty flags flew, they did finish with 15 penalties for 151 yards, so that is certainly something that McKinney Boyd will work on in the future. Now, we look over on the Flower Mound side, we heard all those big yardage totals there for McKinney Boyd. Typically, the Jaguars have been a strong running team, if only behind the legs of Logan Davis. I mean, he's toted the ball between 20 and 25 times every game that we have watched. Tonight, not able to get that running game going. The Jaguars finished with a total of 5 yards net rushing, which is tough to swallow there for that offense. They did finish with 161 yards passing, with 106 of that coming in the second half, and a lot of that coming from the sophomore Hayden Hauser. And they threw a total of 28 passes. The positive in terms of the one stat sheet victory that the Jaguars can take away is that they did only have 4 penalties for 32 yards, and this is a team that the last few games they sometimes struggle with penalties early, but they really had that under control tonight. But unfortunately, they couldn't get that offense going, and the defense struggled to stop those Bronco playmakers, Brandon Bowling and Dedrick Scrivens.
Thank you, Taylor. We'll take a quick break and come back here with more of the post-game show on Champion Sports Radio, presented by In Command Broadcasting.
What are you doing, Hazel?
Looking for a power drink for some energy boost for my marketing. I'm dragging.
You know, I saw your marketing tools, your website, brochures. Remember, there's no energy drink or blue pill for business growth. You need a good marketing boost. Call Jeff at mbstoday.com. They will get you straightened out.
Go online at mbstoday.com or call toll-free 1-855-224-2537, extension 103.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management. The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
What are you doing, Hazel?
Looking for a power drink for some energy boost for my marketing. I'm dragging.
You know, I saw your marketing tools, your website, brochures. Remember, there's no energy drink or blue pill for business growth. You need a good marketing boost. Call Jeff at mbstoday.com. They will get you straightened out.
Go online at mbstoday.com or call toll-free 1-855-224-2537, extension 103.
Stay up.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the number one cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Back at Neil Wilson Stadium, our final tonight, the McKinney Boyd Broncos 46, the Flower Mound Jaguars 6. Some other scores to pass along to you right now. Hebron and Flower Mound are at Marcus up the road, involved in a triple overtime thriller. It's 21 apiece. And Cedar Hill has tacked on another score to lead Capel 54-27. The Cowboys falling apart over there. That seems to be a common phrase we usually use for a team over in Arlington, out of Irving. The Cowboys falling apart. But at this time, it's the Capel Cowboys that are having their troubles. Waco Midway leads Duncanville 42-36. The Panthers have added a touchdown to close the gap to 6. The Hutch has added a touchdown as well. They're up on Madison 36-6. Lake Dallas still over Kimball 49-28. Bishop Lynch throttling Salina tonight 40-21. Carrollton Ranchview leads Decatur 48-33. And Robert E. Lee out of Tyler and Saxe have both scored touchdowns in the fourth quarter. It is 62-49 in that basketball game. Basketball on grass, I guess it is. Arlington Bowie ahead of Colleyville Heritage 45-34. Garland and Naaman Forest 42-40 Garland. The Owls lead that one, and the Owls had a big lead a while ago, but haven't managed to put away Naaman Forest yet. So Taylor, tough sledding tonight for the Flower Mound Jaguars. They'll try to bounce back next week against the Plano Wildcats. Any last thoughts on this one before we close it up?
This was a tough game tonight for Coach Dane Johnson and the Jaguars, but they've played 3 close games. This is really the only one that's gotten out of hand, and so he will take away some positives from tonight. They'll go back, they'll watch the film, they'll find out what they can improve on, and I'm very confident that heading into next week when we drive over to Plano and John Clark Stadium that we will see an improved Flower Mound team and a Flower Mound team that's ready to take it to the Plano Wildcats.
Well, we thank everybody that has helped bring this one here tonight. We want to thank PointOfOriginDesign.com for helping sponsor this broadcast, as well as In Command Broadcasting and Whirly Ball, as well as the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra and Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra Jazz Institute. Check out gdyo.org to learn more about this amazing group, including when your next chance is to enjoy a cultural experience with your family without breaking the bank. I also want to thank Strategic Direct Solutions, who's a senior level sponsor of the Flower Mound Jaguars, mbstoday.com, and LensCap Photo Marketing. For Taylor Wilson, I'm Barry Probst saying good night from Flower Mound's Neil Wilson Stadium. Again, our final score, McKinney Boyd 46, Flower Mound 6. We'll see you next week up in Plano as they take on the Wildcats. Good night from Flower Mound.